Lock it down. Lock down. Stay-at-home order.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Thursday, May 20th, 2021. This is your award-winning Gibbo Nation Media Assassination episode 1348.
This is No Agenda.
Packing up camp and broadcasting live from Opportunity Zone 33 here in the frontier, Boston, Texas, capital of the Drone Star State. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where all hell is breaking loose, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
Wait a minute, I have not been notified. What's going on? What's happening? Why is all hell breaking loose? Can I help? What's going on?
Well, they're taking the scaffolding off the front of the house. Starters. Garbage guys are going back and forth. Cars are getting jammed up.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's going to suck for the show, you mean? We're going to have noise.
There's masks everywhere. They're masked up. Well, I did my duty today and watched the 3 shows in the morning.
Support the show. Send your cash. You will obey.
I'm sorry. It's a 3x3.
That's not the right jingle.
That's not the right jingle. Hold on. Let's do the correct one.
John C. Dvorak's 3x3.
Boom. There you go. All right. You scanned the 3 networks. What are you learning, Brolf?
Well, channel NBC on the Today Show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, big. It's called the Vaccination Vacation.
Woo, baby. Oh, how does that work?
Oh, it's a big, giant. They did a whole thing on people roaming around with their masks on. And if you get fully vaccinated, you're going to get your freedom.
That's right. That's correct.
Your freedom to travel.
Your freedom
so they're
back.
going to make sure, but you won't be able to go anywhere else with your vaccination card. So you bring your card with you. And you still need the card to prove you're vaccinated to go into Europe. This is what's going to. Oh, let's go to Europe. You need your card, then you need a test. You still need a COVID test. You got the card.
Can I just correct you on that? In Europe, the green passport is either or. You do not need a vaccination, proof of vaccination. You can do a test.
That's not what NBC said.
Oh, I know. But I've read the documents from the EU.
Well, that doesn't mean that's what they're going to do. The documents from the EU may not apply at the airport.
Oh, okay.
But you want to be fully vaccinated for Memorial Day. And there's going to be, with vaccination, you know what it means? According to them, vaccination equals a lot more freedom.
Yeah. Yes. I have clips of this phenomenon, but let's go to the next network.
Play those clips. Liberty, fraternité, égalité. Yes, that's with the card. As long as you have a card.
Sure.
All right. Now we went to skipped over to ABC.
Mm-hmm.
Good Morning America, and they were just wrapping. I was enthralled with this other report, so I probably missed most of this. But it was a big investigation, a big hot investigation about Princess Diana.
Ooh.
You know what? She was troubled.
Did anything new come to light? Did we learn she was really? Gosh, this is crazy. This is very informative. What network was this?
This was your Good Morning America on ABC.
Bombshell information.
It really knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
And then they were going to a commercial. And they're going to a break. So here's something. I may have talked to you about this. I talked to somebody about this, but I get the biggest kick out of this. They got this big black football player that used to be on the Kelly Ripa show.
Yeah.
Michael Strahan.
Right.
So anything that has to do with transgender or gay.
Give it to the big black guy.
They give it to him. So as they were going to them, what reminded me was because they were going to the break with teasing the teaser was an upcoming story on Billy Porter and his 15-year bout with AIDS. Michael Strahan will be taking that story.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then they went to commercial, skipped over to CBS. Now, CBS had some screwball news segment. This was the morning show with Gail and Anthony Mason, and
sure.
the Israeli guy.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So they got this guy. He's a black hipster. They get the 3 of them around the table, and this guy is standing by himself about 10 feet away with the background saying, "What to watch." and he's doing news items. It's got nothing to do with what to watch. And the guy's wearing a tight-fitting, kind of a pale blue, real short suit and a beige pork pie hat.
Yummy.
And he's standing there reading to this black guy, and he's standing there reading to these. And Eric was in the room, and he comes and he says, why don't they give this guy a chair? Why does he have to stand? This poor guy. So anyway, it wrapped up with him doing a thing on. Oh, this is big news, by the way. Everyone should take a note. Spotify. Has got a new playlist. A new playlist
feature
for your plants.
Wow.
Yeah. In fact,
this was not a native ad,
versions
was it?
Of the. Yeah.
This was not a native ad, was it?
You think?
Wow. And who did the ad? That's one I would have wanted to hear.
No, it wasn't an ad. It was this guy, the black guy's talking about. He was talking. It was a native ad. It was right in the copy.
Fantastic.
Spotify has actually 3 different playlists for your house plants.
Oh, for different types of plants or different moods, or if you want them greener.
I was getting sick to my stomach, so I don't remember the details, but it was obviously a promotion for Spotify and their fabulous programming skills.
Excellent.
I always thought the Spotify playlists were for plants all the time. I think most people that listen to Spotify.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because there's a lot of they just had the big upfront for podcasting, but also for real
what?
Yeah, podcasting has upfronts. You didn't know that? Yes.
What?
Oh yeah, the IAB puts it on. It's not called an upfront. It's called something else. It's even stupider. Hold on, IAB upfront. That's the interactive advertising bureau or something.
Yeah.
Let's see, the podcast upfront. I thought they called it something else. No, IAB podcast upfront 2020. It's called Listen Up. We missed it already. Damn it. Yeah.
Huh. So did we miss it?
So you can get out. You can get in front of everybody else and buy your ads now. Yeah, there's so much inventory on podcasts. It's only about 20% ever gets filled. So why are you trying to create it?
That's hard to believe, Adam.
Oh, geez.
In fact, you would know because you have an index that you've been doing.
Yeah, correct.
Which indexes probably most, if not all, but most of the podcasts out there. And what is the number? What is the number of podcasts out there? Like 100,000, maybe that many? That would cause a lot of excess inventory.
Well, there's like 3.5 million.
What?
Of which in the past 60 days, only 400,000 have updated. So,
well, that's funny. The last update was only 600,000. They're falling off.
Well, it's a sliding scale, obviously. Yeah. It's not a lot. Anyway, the reason I brought it up was NBC Universal had their upfront, and they're doing something which I think is really tone deaf to what's happening with celebrities. They're now really pushing the celebrities as the native ad pitchmen for their advertisers. What they call
what was that? What's that called? What was that called in the podcast called the host?
A host read. Yeah.
Yeah, this is AM radio. We're back to AM radio, and Hollywood has gotten to the point where they have to get their A-list stars to do reads. Are they that hard up? That's terrible.
Yes. Comcast's unit is pitching broad partnerships with stars during this year's TV ad buying ritual, hoping its pull with talent helps it strike bigger deals. Example is Kelly Clarkson with Wayfair. That's the company that ships children in cabinets. So, that's
Mommy.
She'll be sponsoring that. She'll be doing the native ads. Yeah, this is. I think it's not going to work. I mean, no one cares. Celebrities died during COVID. I mean, not literally, but they might as well have. No one cares anymore. The influencers are the idiots on TikTok.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, you celebrity, dance for me. Dance to a little ditty I know from TikTok. Then maybe I'll listen to what you have to say. Well, that's a good report, John. Rather distressing, but at least...
I expect it to always be distressing.
This is what we do. We deconstruct media here on the No Agenda Show if you're brand new. And we're going to do a little round robin. We were going back to the big mask debate, huge mask debate. As the CDC said, it's okay, you're vaccinated, don't worry about it. Everyone was, Republicans, conservatives are liars. That's exactly what the media said this past week. And now let's see what the leaders are doing. Let's go to New York first.
Tonight, the one-time COVID epicenter is breathing a little easier.
It's really nice to be walking around on a beautiful day with no mask.
It's awesome. Things we're going back to normal.
New York officially lifting its mask and social distancing mandates for fully vaccinated people. Many large events, including Broadway and the New York City Marathon, are roaring back later this year.
The bottom line is if you're vaccinated, you have more freedom.
There it is. Hey, de Blasio, blow me.
That was the exact phrase that was used on the 3x3 I did this morning.
Sure.
If you're vaccinated, you have more freedom.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is
the meme.
We caught that really early, by the way.
Yep.
That phrase, but that's a phrase.
It is. And it'll come back many times in the next couple of weeks, I'm sure. But don't worry, citizen.
Does anybody know how the Constitution works?
You don't have to trust your fellow American. You only have to trust the science.
Just trust the science. Trust the science. Let's look at some science. Let's go to California. Now, they were really caught flat-footed in California with this. What? We're not ready. We have to prepare for this massive change of people not putting on a mask. We need more time.
Pat, to wear a mask or not wear a mask, that is the question, William Shakespeare. And even though the CDC has updated its guidelines for vaccinated people, it's not the law of the land. That's still up to the states. And right now, California is standing pat.
Standing pat.
They always say that they're following the science, and I do believe that they should then follow the science.
Right now, according to the state, the science is telling them to wait until June 15th for more people to get vaccinated. And so businesses have enough time to prepare to fully open without mask restrictions.
You see, science tells California something different than New York. That's the general message.
It's worse. No, you're wrong. The science, whatever says June 15th, it actually has a date.
Yes.
Is it like the magic 8 ball?
Yes. It said, the science says, that's what we need. We need a magic 8 ball kind of jingle. Ooh, the science says. And then we can just fill in the blank. And we can just say, what does the science say?
PBS had a bunch of, the PBS NewsHour had a whole bunch of stuff about this mask, and they don't know what to make of it. Mm-hmm. But listen to this guy. This guy. They brought in Larry Gostin, some professor at Georgetown, of course, Georgetown, Spook City, about the right to mask, and this is under Covey, right to mask.
First, I know you have in the past been supportive of this idea of some kind of proof of vaccination. Make the case.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people worry about, people's rights. And of course, everybody has a right to make their own decision about their own health and well-being, but they don't have the right to be unmasked and unvaccinated in a crowded place and spread infection.
Oh, wow.
You don't have the right to not wear a mask.
Who was that? Who said that?
This guy, Larry Gostin, Gostin.
What's his deal?
Professor.
He needs to be avoided at all cost.
You don't have the right to not wear a mask. You don't have the right to not be vaccinated. Where do they get these people?
From the University of California system, I guess.
Well, this guy's at Georgetown.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, then you know where they get them from. Well, let's go back to California. Let's find out exactly what the parameters are of this new situation.
People have so many questions, and they want to know why can't they take their mask off now. Here's the latest reasoning. The state is saying they want to get their vaccination levels higher, the virus rate lower, and also give businesses a chance to get the vaccine credit ready when you come into a business and make sure that you have that vaccine verification.
Now, I was a little confused by this clip because she said vaccine credit. Do you think she meant accreditation or credential, or does she mean credit card?
Let's play it again.
Because that would be the way to go, by the way. A vaccine credit card. You can only pay with a credit card that proves you've been vaccinated. Think about that.
The state is saying they want to get their vaccination levels higher, the virus rate lower, and also give businesses a chance to get the vaccine credit ready when you come into a business and make sure that you have that vaccine verification.
What is she? Maybe she meant QR code? She just misread it.
Vaccine credit ready.
Get your vaccine credit.
Credit ready. I think she's just confused. Yeah. She's a confused woman.
Likely. But
either that or the businesses are going to get some extra money from the government if they keep people out. I don't know.
I still think it's a good idea to do a credit card, and it'll be like, Corona card accepted here, and you're only allowed to purchase with that approved credit card, which has a verification you've been vaccinated. Come on, MasterCard. This is a great idea.
Visa.
Well, I think MasterCard's I think they're more into that stuff. But I could be wrong. So let's go back to the businesses one more time.
Can a business legally ask a guest their vaccination status?
Oh yeah, this is a good little clip because, what is HIPAA? Who's allowed to ask what? What are the parameters? And this they try to explain it in this little bit.
Or can a business legally ask a guest their vaccination status? Well, the answer to that is yes. They can legally ask them, but the guest doesn't have to tell them. Allow me to break it down for you. So here's the thing. HIPAA directly prevents health professionals like your doctor from sharing your health information without your permission. But when it comes to the average business, the HIPAA rules do not apply, meaning they can legally ask if you're vaccinated. Now, like I said, you do have the right not to answer, but just know if you don't answer, they have the right to not let you go inside. But once again, Walt, back here at the Starbucks, not many people are masked going in, and the associates are not asking them.
Wow. I mean, CDC says one thing, the state of California says another. Some businesses say you got to have the mask, some businesses don't. So it's like so randomly hit or miss until maybe the state in mid-June decides.
I'm a mouth breather. I'm a mouth-breathing headline reader. I don't know shit. It's kind of crazy.
That's a good voice.
Thank you. Let's see. We needed a little to mix it up a little bit and make it a little more fun, a little more applicable to today's social issues. So we send Yamish, who works for PBS and MSNBC from time to time, often appears on NPR. She is
also appears on various progressive websites.
Yes, she is to be taken very seriously, always has very serious questions, and she asked this of Jen Psaki.
Can I ask you, I want to also switch to COVID. The largest national nurses union is saying that the CDC guidelines on masks is putting frontline workers, and especially people of color, at risk, and that they're calling for the CDC to reverse that. What's the White House's stance on that union in particular, saying that their members and people of color are at risk?
So it's racist, this whole thing. Don't even need to hear what Psaki said. Just throw some race in there, because that's my job. Why don't they give her the Michael Strahan bit? Why don't they give her all the gay and trans stories to do, and let Michael Strahan ask something in the press conference? You know what I mean?
Oh, well, there's unfair. A lot. I could tell you a million reasons why.
Well, yes, of course. I'm just saying that. Come on, This is race baiting if I've ever heard it. But let's get it straight from the horse's mouth. Let's get it straight from the horse's mouth. Dr. Walensky, who is the director of the CDC, she will explain it one more time real quick.
Because our guidance changed on Thursday, there's no need for everybody to start ripping off their masks.
See, she's walking it back a little bit. It's like, take your time. Giving California they need a little, they got to figure it all out. Let's find out what a doctor thinks.
Before you leave Walensky, I do have to play this Walensky.
Oh, this clip. I know, I have it too. It's the best clip. This is the best clip.
You have to listen to it carefully to realize why it's the best clip.
Yeah. And that you have to preface it by saying it is from the White House's own website.
It's from the White House website. It's produced. So they have like a question written on the screen, and then she says something, and there's a question on the screen, and then she says something. This is the kind of the end of it where which is the best part. And I don't know, do they have people over there that actually listen to these things and say, whoa, 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 maybe we shouldn't put it that way. We can rephrase that, can't we? No, they don't have anybody that can do that.
The Curry Dvorak Consulting Group is still available before we achieve our final exit strategy. We would not allow this to go on the White House website as produced.
We have no reason to believe that getting vaccinated should change your menstrual cycle or make your periods any heavier. There have been decades and decades of research in mRNA technology that has led to the science that allowed us to meet this moment to create these life-saving vaccines. In clinical trials, these vaccines were studied in tens of thousands of people, and we have administered over 250 million doses without any concerns for safety.
Now, did everybody catch it? We should probably play just the last little bit one more time.
250 million doses without any concerns for safety.
There you go.
Can you believe that?
We've tested all of this without any concerns for safety.
If anything, that's the most unbelievable thing that ever came out of the White House. And I expect that this is just the beginning of the Biden administration. We're going to get nothing but tons of this stuff. But how stupid are they to say something like that? We don't have any concern for safety.
No. Well, you have to wonder.
I think we have to assume that they meant there was no concern because there was no safety issues.
Well, I'm just not that forgiving anymore. Why wouldn't I just take him at face value?
Yeah, well, we've been trained to do that with Trump, so why not do it now?
Why not? Exactly.
We've been trained. You're right. Exactly. We've been trained to do this.
There's a couple of interesting updates regarding the pressure for vaccination. OSHA, which is the office for what is the office? It's the
Office for Safety and Health Administration.
Thank you very much. Which makes sure you're safe while you're at your job. And they have imposed new guidance for employer-required COVID-19 vaccines, and they reiterate that if you require your employees to be vaccinated as a condition of employment, work-related reasons, then any adverse reaction to the COVID-19 vaccine is work-related. It's recordable under, then they have a law there, and the company could be liable for that.
This is an interesting storyline because they've been playing this both ways. I mean, the media has been trying to play it as if there's no, they got this covered.
No worries.
They're trying to dissuade anyone from discussing this like you just did. There's a number of, we're looking at some articles about how it's actually illegal to do this requirement in the first place. So I think it's gone beyond liability. I think you're criminally liable besides just financially liable. I think you can get thrown in jail if somebody digs up the right law.
Yeah, I was watching, what was it, The Five yesterday afternoon. It was on Fox. And they're all so happy, just so you understand how big the pharmaceutical power is, they're all so happy about the Ohio incentive program, where 5 people win $1 million if they get vaccinated. So, you show up and then, I think we had a clip. And it's actually from COVID relief funds. So we're paying for that. And they're so excited because it's working. Hundreds of thousands of people are lining up to get vaccinated. And all the jamokes, I should have clipped something of it. All the jamokes across the spectrum are all like, wow, this is great. The incentives are working. People really, they're going out. It's fantastic.
Wait.
And all I could think... Yeah.
I'm just saying, just to get this straight, the incentive is for all practical purposes a 50-cent lottery ticket.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
And I thought, no one said the following. Holy crap, the people in Ohio are so destitute, so close to the bottom with no money, all the factories gone, jobs are, I can't speak for the job market because apparently people do want to show up, but No one ever considered that. Like, this is desperation. These people are desperate for the 50-cent lottery ticket. Give me that. And so now we'll probably see that spread out across more states. New York is already considering it. Can you believe that? It's just I mean, I can't see it any other way.
Well, how's the 5? You said the 5? The Fox show the 5? They're all giddy about this?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, well, they're all pro-vax. They have to be pro-vaccine. They can't be anti.
They're on Fox, right? And you already pointed this out when they
Tucker.
refused to even mention pharma as a influencer.
They have no problem violating our trademark by saying Laura Logan, no agenda. They have no problem with that. I'm going to sue them.
We have to talk about that and the lawyer.
Yeah, let's call Manny on the coast. We'll get that fixed right up. I get a lot of emails about that. All right, now let us move on because there's a lot more to discuss. Remdesivir. Do we remember Remdesivir?
Yeah, the Remdesivir, just to summarize, was the out-of-the-blue screwball drug that was probably dangerous, if not unhealthy, to use under any circumstances, that was brought in as a foil to any discussion about hydroxychloroquine.
That is an accurate description. And it was brought in as an antiviral against COVID-19. They had all kinds of tests. And, we saw a 0.03 improvement of people who were already dead. Something to that effect, if I recall. Well, the World Health Organization has removed Remdesivir from its list of COVID-19 medicines. Yay!
Thanks, mainstream media. Good work on that one.
It's off the list. Yeah, you gotta love it. Gotta love it. That won't get a lot of play in the media, I'm sure. Now let's see. Vaccine hesitancy. Yes, this is still a thing. You know, there's a flyer going around from the Ad Council, not a flyer, PDF, that they put together. I think it was done upon request of the CDC in something called the COVID Collaborative. That's got to scare you.
This is a public service thing?
Yeah. Well, they're giving this to doctors, nurses, anyone who might happen to wander into a black and brown community. You know, these are the zip codes that they always talk about. And if it's your job to convince a black or brown person, in fact, I'm sorry, this is only for black audiences. Sorry, brown people, you're not in this one. The do's and don'ts, which I thought was kind of interesting to run through. So they say, address frequently asked questions. For example, about pre-existing conditions, i.e. hypertension, diabetes, obesity, lupus, and the vaccines. Information needs to be clear, honest, and presented in plain language. Facts about safety are important. What you should not do is just say the science is solid. I mean, this is really, again, showing you how little these agencies think of Americans. Do share that researchers made sure that the clinical trials included adults of diverse backgrounds, races, ethnicities. Don't indicate that black people were not included in clinical trials. Really? Simply say black Americans have higher rates of hesitancy without explaining why, or imply that vaccination uptake rests entirely on their shoulders. I mean, this is like, it's like, here's the children. This is the color you can identify them by. And go out and make sure you speak to them the right way. Is this typical?
Nah, well, it's news to me.
I put the whole thing in the show notes. It's worth a read. It's
pretty pathetic.
Oh, my goodness.
They just put an ad in Jet magazine.
Now, the Lancet's supposed to be a proper journal, correct? It
was until that scandal. There's a scandal, I think.
Oh, the hydroxychloroquine scandal, where they published the bogus study from the bogus group from a modeling agency.
They published a bogus study, and they probably published more than a few. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm skeptical. I think it may have lost its reputation with me.
Well, they published COVID-19 vaccine efficacy and effectiveness, the elephant in parentheses, not in the room. And they talk about the RRR. What they're really doing here is saying how effective are these vaccines based upon the minute percentage that you will get COVID at all, and then taking their own 95 or 85% efficacy into the calculation. So you come up with the absolute risk reduction versus the relative risk reduction. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. They got found some statistician who could do that kind of calculation.
Right. So
it's non-trivial.
So here's the actual efficacy of these vaccines, the absolute risk reduction. So how much does it really
risk reduction is not the same as efficacy.
Yes, but it's how much it reduces your risk from getting COVID.
Okay, my risk right now is 90. Well, the dying thing. I don't know what the risk of getting COVID is.
Well, the AstraZeneca vaccine will only reduce that by 1.3%.
What?
Yes. Pfizer will reduce your risk by 0.84%. Moderna, surprisingly, 1.2%, and Johnson & Johnson with 1.2%. And the Sputnik comes in, the same as Pfizer with 0.84%. That's the absolute risk reduction you receive from them. It doesn't seem worth it to me.
We have to look at this paper. Yeah. That's a blockbuster if true.
Well, and they put it right.
What they're saying is it doesn't really do much.
Yes. Well, that's why they say the COVID-19 vaccine efficacy and effectiveness, the elephant not in the room. It's because everyone sees it, everybody knows it, but maybe they're trying to make good with somebody. Like, hey, we know.
Oh, okay. Yes, I think everyone's starting to backtrack, and I believe we talked about a little bit on the last show, which I think is they're not going to get approval. And they're going to back off. Well, we don't need approval now anyway. This is what I think this would be my prediction about how they're going to try to do this.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to say, first of all, they're not going to get approval. But how are they going to get out of, you just gave 300 million people in the United States this vaccine that's not approved and there's never going to be approved. What we're going to do, we did it ourselves. We've taken it out of trials ourselves. It's not going to get approved because we don't care anymore because we have version 2 that we're putting through the trials instead.
Yeah. And the booster. Don't forget the booster.
We have a new, that will be in part of the booster.
Part of version
and it's
2.
going to be so we do, everyone's already taken the vaccine. Who cares whether it's approved or not? I'm going to be the PR guy for it. I'll work for Pfizer. Look, what's the point of it's cost, you have no idea how much money, Adam?
Yes.
You have no idea how much money it costs to get this thing approved. And it's costing, and everyone's already taken the vaccine. Everyone's
So what's our potential upside by going for approval? Is that really only an additional 10%? I mean, clearly not worth it.
It's not going to do anything because we've got another vaccine in the pipeline.
Yes.
Would you rather spend our money on that? It's more effective.
Yes. Can you tell me, would we be billing this as the variant?
This new one will take care of all the variants because it takes a slightly different look at the protein.
Mm-hmm.
It creates a different spike protein that will that's pretty much all the variants have.
Can we say now with new and improved spike?
Well, that would be cute, but we're not going to go that far because we're not trying to bamboozle the public by any means. We're just going to tell you what we're going to do.
We're not bamboozling the public. Okay. Well, since we're talking about the clinical trials, we now have approved under emergency use authorization to shoot up children between 12 and 15. Let's go to Dr. Jen over there on Good Morning America.
So let's get right into it now. This is based on the clinical trial data in this age group, 12 to 15 years old, with the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. 78%, the most tired complaint or side effect, tired the next day, that fatigue. 76% headache. Then you go on to other things like chills, almost 50%, muscle pain, 42%. Long-term data, obviously this is unknown. We don't have 10, 20 years of data on these vaccines yet, but in the clinical trials, there have been 0 serious side effects, and that is really important when parents and pediatricians ask about the risks of this vaccine.
This to me was totally Orwellian. Here's all this shit these kids are feeling. We don't have any data, so we really don't know about 5 or 10. Girl, you don't know about 10 months. You don't even know 10 weeks worth of data. Stop.
I always thought the data on the kids was always just redesigned from data on the adults in the first place. So I'm wondering about this whole report, but that was the weirdest report. Yes. First, they list all these horrible things that happened to you, and then they said nothing happens to you. How did they pull that off? That was very well structured.
I think this report will one day go down as a war crime.
It's already a war crime.
It's a war crime. Let's.
Can you play that again?
No, I know it's well done. It's and she does it with such a, and she's cute, Dr. Jen. So she does it with such a she's reading the prompter.
A plum.
So let's get right into it now. This is based on the clinical trial data in this age group, 12 to 15 years old, with the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. 78%, the most tired complaint or side effect, tired the next day, that fatigue. 76% headache. Then you go on to other things like chills, almost 50%, muscle pain, 42%.
She's almost reading this like it's a bad list. There's something very interesting about it. You're like, oh, muscle pain, 50% headache, and then it just whoop.
Muscle pain, 42%. Long-term data, obviously this is unknown. We don't have 10, 20 years of data on these vaccines yet, but in the clinical trials, there have been 0 serious side effects, and that is really important when parents and pediatricians ask about the risks of this vaccine.
It's so well done. It's really well done.
And what's she talking about, 10 or 20 years? I mean,
give me 10 months. And these are prepubescent teens, man.
This kid should not be taking this.
You get them early. You get them right on time.
Well, we have that woman that you brought up. I'm pretty sure I've got this clip. The woman in Texas, the pediatrician who comes...
the one who spoke in the Senate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Angelina
Fervuilla.
Uh-huh.
I have her testimony here. It's an eye-opener.
All right, let's do it.
This is Texas Senate Angelina Fervuilla.
Welcome. Introduce yourself.
Thanks for having me this morning. My name is Dr. Angelina Ferrella, and I am a pediatrician in Webster, Texas, independent solo physician.
Oh, conspiracy theorist.
I have come here today really to protect our children of Texas. This is a very scary situation that we're in right now. I just want to kind of touch on a few things, some history. Never in history before have we given medications that were not FDA approved to people that were not initially studied in the trial. There were no trial patients that were under the age of 18. There were no trial patients that were previously exposed or had COVID. These are 2 very important points with this. The other issue is safety. I'm kind of a safety freak. I'm a pediatrician. I've been a pediatrician for over 25 years. I find myself a vaccine expert. I've given tens of thousands of vaccines in my office. I am not an anti-vaxxer. I'm a very pro-vax, actually, except when it comes to this COVID vaccine.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
If we can call it that. The one of the big issues is the safety profile. The safety and the adverse events recommendations through the ACIP, which is the Advisory Committee of Immunization Practices, they have made some recommendations in regards to the COVID-19 vaccine. One of the things that is extremely troubling, and it's on their ACIP guideline for the Pfizer vaccine in particular, that recommendations about safety and adverse events will come out after authorization. After authorization. This is a very scary issue. We find out data on safety before we subject our patient population to this. We are currently allowing children 16, 17 years old to get this vaccine, and they were never studied in this trial.
You don't have to trust your fellow American. You only have to trust the science.
Trust the science, girl. Wow. So we get that after the fact. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Now that's a war crime. I'm just going to start writing them down. Wow. Good
There's
work.
a lot of war crimes here.
Yeah, I love it.
She continues.
We now have early effective outpatient treatment for COVID. We've had it for a long time. As a pediatrician, I stepped up to the plate in Texas to help Texans, adults, because doctors in my community shut their doors, locked their doors, and refused to treat patients. I've seen hundreds of adults active COVID. I've also treated post-vaccine problems in adults. This is, again,
2 or 3?
me stepping.
Oh, I'm sorry. That may be 2. Fuck.
No, you want to be playing 2.
Yeah, well, I'll restart it just in case.
They're extrapolating the data from adults down to children and adolescents. This is not acceptable. Children are not little adults. Not acceptable at all. Children have a 99.997% survivability from the COVID. 99.997%. Let me repeat that for you all to understand. And there's evidence that these children are actually a buffer. What that means is that these children actually, for some reason, do not spread the disease. Children are not super spreaders. So what we're doing to our kids right now is actually criminal. We are isolating them. We are putting them in masks, which is also clinically dangerous. We are also telling them that, psychologically telling them that if they bring COVID home, they're going to kill grandma, granddad, aunt, uncle, mom, and dad. That is a horrible, horrible situation to put on our kids. Let me go back to the rotavirus vaccine of 1999. I've been in practice long enough that I actually was giving rotavirus back in 1999, and it was pulled off the market then because of 15 cases of intussusception. Intussusception is where the gut telescopes on itself. Intussusception is not necessarily life-threatening. It sometimes self-reduces, but the rotavirus vaccine was actually pulled immediately, and we stopped giving it to our kids. And what has happened with this particular vaccine is appalling to me. We have in excess of 4,000 deaths, and this thing has not been pulled yet. This is absolutely unacceptable. On top of that, a few years ago, maybe some of you don't understand that we had a flu pandemic in 2017, and it killed 95,000 Americans. And 95,000 Americans died despite the fact that we have early, effective antiviral treatment for the flu.
Wow, that's an interesting accusation. So we didn't treat anyone for flu either? It's like, just get your vaccine.
No, I think the point she's trying, she's trying to make the point that what she's saying is that we had 95,000 dead because we had early treatment. In other words, it would have been a lot more.
Yes.
That one was a killer. It could have gone to 500,000. And we had no early treatment, or we had it for COVID, but we didn't use it. And so then we ended up with 500,000. It could have been,
right,
which is a number that's questionable anyway, but it's probably at least 3.
Hey, and she called that criminal?
Yeah.
It's interesting because I was just reading this. Hold on. It's the Frontline COVID Critical Care Alliance, which has a very professional-looking website. And they're thinking about several lawsuits, but they have a statement on irregular actions of public health agencies and widespread disinformation campaign against ivermectin. And they've got the receipts. They got some proof about how ivermectin was summarily just dismissed as any type of treatment. This will eventually, something will come out in the wash.
This can't go on.
Yeah, something's going to come out in the wash.
I mean, if we, the two of us,
if we can
have been on the case since March of last year,
we're dopey and sleepy from the Seven Dwarfs.
Just a couple of guys.
We figured it out. We saw it happen in real time.
So let's let her finish this. Is she still on this clip?
I know. This is the third clip now.
We now have early, effective outpatient treatment for COVID. We've had it for a long time. As a pediatrician, I stepped up to the plate in Texas to help Texans, adults, because doctors in my community shut their doors, locked their doors, and refused to treat patients. I've seen hundreds of adults active COVID. I've also treated post-vaccine problems in adults. This is, again, me stepping up to the plate. I'm becoming very vulnerable because as a pediatrician, this is not my wheelhouse, but my wheelhouse is infectious disease. I see lots of little kids. They are Petri dishes. The reason why they're a buffer is exactly that reason. They have something called a thymus. A thymus helps them with T-cell immunity. So that's another point for you to understand. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
We forgot about the thymus in kids.
Yes. Damn those kids with their thymus.
Well, that's why I recommend eating sweetbreads every so often, and you get a little thymus, old dead thymus in you.
Another tip from your No Agenda show.
Anyway, so these, another tip, a foodie tip.
I'd like to take this track, because she's talking about it being criminal. We're talking about war crimes. And since the mainstream media will not do it, I'd like to rewind the clock 30 years ago. And I studied the AIDS epidemic very closely. Friends of mine died. I have all the books. I've been pretty vocal about most of my thoughts. But 30 years ago, there was Dr. Let me think what was his name. Robert. Hold on a second. What was his name? Wilner, that's it. Dr. Robert Wilner spoke of a true genocide of gay people, gay men mainly, in the United States as the very same people who are bringing you this. You'll hear the names. Burks is the only one that isn't on his list. The very same people. He accuses them of killing them with a deadly drug, which was AZT. And of course, the promise was we're going to find a cure. We'll have a vaccine against AIDS, and never materialized. And the crisis just kind of went away. We have a pill that somehow it works. It's not the cure for AIDS, but all very suspicious considering what the accusations that were thrown by Dr. Robert Wilner back 30 years ago.
We're talking about probably the most horrible scandal and scam ever perpetrated, not only in the name of science, but in humanity and in all history. And I will put the lie to the individuals of the NIH, particularly Gallo and Fauci and Hazeltine and Essex, and the rest of these scoundrels of the worst order. Criminals guilty of genocide, without a doubt. I invite them to take me to court. I wish Burroughs Wellcome would take me to court, because they have been putting out a killer drug knowingly. Because in a court of law, I would have the opportunity to provide the absolute proof and evidence, as I have in my book, Deadly Deception. Now, I'm not alone in what I'm doing here today. How does the press escape such obvious truths? Why would the finest virologist in the world, the most noted virologist, member of our National Academy of Sciences, Peter Duesberg, why would he put his entire career on the line? What did he have to gain?
See, back then we didn't have social media, so you couldn't cancel someone. You know, you couldn't say, oh, you're a nut job, you shouldn't even be a doctor, and then just cancel them or put a big...
What he's talking about, Duesberg was a professor at the University of California.
Yes.
And he was suspicious of this from the beginning because he said, for one thing, he said AZT was just going to do the opposite it was supposed to do.
Yeah, kill everybody.
He said that for sure. But he was very skeptical about the AIDS virus as a retrovirus because, according to him, and I think he's stuck by this right through the thick of it, and it did ruin his reputation as a virologist and a professor.
Yeah,
he said that retroviruses just can't do what this is doing.
He said
it doesn't make any sense.
His main claim was HIV, that's the virus, does not cause AIDS. That was his main thing. And yes, and he stuck by that. Absolutely. And there's some papers that, you know, the Gallo guy, there's a couple people who said they found some stuff, but it's so sketchy. And no one dies anymore after they stop giving him AZT. So, and you notice he says, what's wrong with the media? Well, hello. It's Big Pharma who runs it. Let's go.
And
Sorry?
what was the year we had? What we have to decide for the basis of our show.
Mm-hmm.
We have to determine the exact date that it was allowable for Big Pharma to advertise on television.
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't. It may not have ever even have been forbidden.
No, it was forbidden.
Oh, really?
Or it was at least a gentleman's agreement, or something was about it. There was sketchy when the first ad showed up. There was a guy. We had a clip of this. This clip was about 6, 7, 8 years ago, where the guy who came up with the idea of advertising heavily some just obscure drug heavily on television did an interview, and he went on. I remember it more or less, and you're not going to be able to find it by looking it up, I don't think.
I have it. Is this NPR drug prices in ads? No, that's the reason behind advertising.
Maybe.
Then I have.
While you're looking, I'll explain what he said. He said, even the people at the drug company thought this is just a waste of money. And then when their sales went up by a factor of 10x,
yeah,
they said, "Oh, we're onto something here," and that was the beginning.
Yeah, we should figure out when that started.
It has to be. We have to have the exact date because you'll start to see. You'll see a, and I hate to use this phrase, a sea change before and after that date, insofar as the media is concerned.
Oh, no doubt. And that's why I laugh when people still use the old anti-Semitic trope that the Jews run the media. No, they don't. It's the pharmaceutical companies and China run the media. And they probably run Dr. J. Bhattacharya as well.
If you look at the Pfizer trial, on the arm that had the vaccine, there were 5 or 6 serious adverse events, no deaths, but serious adverse events out of 1,000 kids that were on that arm. On the other arm, the placebo arm, I think they had 16 cases of COVID, but the cases were completely asymptomatic or very, very mild in basically every single instance. So what you're trading is a cold or less for a potential serious adverse event, where both are rare. 16 out of 1,000, 5 out of 1,000. It doesn't seem like it's a major thing to try to force parents to do that they don't want to do. And actually, I think it's actually, in some sense, it's the wrong question. We should be using those doses to protect the elderly in Asia, in Africa, in South America, where there are a lot of elderly people still vulnerable. It takes 1,000 doses of vaccinating children to get the same number of lives saved as just vaccinating a single 80-year-old. Let's send those doses where they really will do some good, save some lives, instead of trying to force parents to make this decision on the basis of I mean, what good does it do? I'm not really sure from a public health point of view.
Yeah.
Now this point is being made by the left-wing media.
Yep.
Constantly.
Yep.
Why are we dosing our kids who don't need it when we can send the drug, the same vaccines to Africa or Asia or something to service them? Because Africa, which has a very low incidence of the disease compared to us in terms of their per capita, it's almost nothing. Yeah, they don't have any vaccines. None of those vaccines.
Well,
they just
you're correct.
Use old cures.
This is very left wing media who follow this line of thinking, and the only thing I can see is that this is about, you're not sharing. The world needs to be a global place. We need to give up the IP, the intellectual property, so they can make their own. I think that's part of it.
Yeah, it probably is part of it, because the lefties are the ones who get they're lining up for the vaccine, generally.
They're also now starting to bitch about how many billionaires there are now because of the vaccine. They're pointing out the CEO of Moderna, saying, "Hey, man," and of course we know Moderna, that whole company is not even a science company. It's almost like
a house of cards.
It's like a SPAC. It's like a vaccine SPAC. It's just it's a vaccine SPAC, and they just threw it together. So now people are pissed. Like, hey, wait a minute. How come these a-holes get to be rich? That's not okay. Here, 9 new billionaires. Yeah, they're coming for him. Profits from the COVID-19 jabs have helped at least 9 people become billionaires. Yeah. So
heads on sticks.
Yeah. They're coming after him.
The old-fashioned way.
Quick in between. One of our producers, Clayton. He showed me all the evidence of this. He has the vials, closed vials of Janssen, that's the Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, Moderna, and the diluent, which you mix with the Pfizer. And he did a test, and he sent us videos, and none of them are either magnetized or affected by a household magnet. So when it goes in your arm, it probably is not magnetic.
Oh, wow. Stop the presses.
Well, hey, it's one of these things. People are still talking about it. And what your No Agenda show is talking about is another new story on the mink. Denmark is now racing to dig up millions of dead mink.
What's going on with Denmark?
Well, so, last year, Danish officials reported minks were infecting humans with a mutated COVID-19 strain, which led to harsh containment measures, i.e. culling Denmark's entire 17 million mink population. I'd say that's rather harsh. They did have one of the largest mink industries in the world. That's probably just part of the Great Reset.
I have a problem with this, the whole way they handled this. And the minks are worth money because of the fur. Why couldn't they? So they had to kill, I don't know what I would say, why don't you put a hazmat suit on and run the mink through a gamma radiation sterilizing system.
Oh, that's hot.
It would kill the mink and all the bacteria in the mink and all the viruses.
Yeah. How about just a directed...
And the mink would come out pristine at the other end, and it could be gutted and used for fur.
How about just a directed energy weapon? Just fry them.
Well, we can get to that later in the show. No, a gamma radiation device is used for ultra pasteurization and other mechanisms that does not leave any residual radiation. It's just like X-rays. It just kills what's there in the box. And they could run it through an assembly line system where they have a thing going right through, and every mink goes through dead. I don't understand why they didn't do that.
Well, let's try this out for size. So first of all, the animals were culled illegally, which even led to the resignation of the Minister of Agriculture. And there were calls for the entire government to resign. I didn't know this. So then they buried them in mass graves. Now, it's also possible, as we know from as far as we know from all coronavirus trials that have been eventually tried on animals, and with that, it's not the lab mice. No, it should be ferrets or mink, but ferrets is typical. That when they got the vaccine, i.e. the first virus or a version of the virus, whenever they got the second one, they would just die in the most horrific way. I, to this day, think that the culling was because they knew that these poor mink were going to just die in a horrible way, and you can't hide that when you see them on the ground like. So they had to chop all their heads off. We got no time for Dvorak's idea. Then they threw them into the ground, but they threw them in a shallow grave, and they started popping up like zombies because of the gases released from the decaying bodies. So then they had to bury them again. And now everyone's, it might pollute the local groundwater. Oh, so now they have to dig them up again. This really needs more explanation. It really does. It
sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, something is up with those guys. So Dr. Walensky from the CDC, she did appear, what is this on? I think Meet the Press. A question a lot of people have as well. What do you do if you're immunocompromised? If you have a compromised immune system, many people's immune system is compromised. Do you get the jab? Do you take the poke? Do you mask for the rest of your life? Is it any good?
And if you're immunocompromised and fully vaccinated, what would you recommend?
Oh, Okay, so you're fully vaccinated and immunocompromised. Okay, all right. Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you very much for that question. Certainly,
You're welcome.
we know that.
You know what that was? That was a setup question. That's why she said thank you.
And if you're
yeah, so lame. He can't even read the word immuno.
And if you're immunocompromised and fully vaccinated, what would you recommend?
Thank you very much for that question. Certainly, we know that, and there are emerging data to suggest that if you don't have a fully competent immune system from chemotherapy, from transplants, from other immune modulating agents, that the vaccine may not have worked as well for you. So please, before you take off your mask, consult your physician.
Consult your
physician. Why even take the vaccine?
I got two more here.
All the mixed messages, all these science nuts.
Yeah.
You know, it's unbelievable. The local news around here, they keep putting these different doctors on every one of these radio stations during the news break.
Yeah.
And they all say different things. Nobody's on the same page.
I wasn't even going to play this, but since you brought up different doctors, Greg Gutfeld has a show on Fox, which is unwatchable. But one of our producers did and sent me a clip of Dr. Drew, who we do like and respect. And he had his little, his 2 cents about masks and vax.
Follow the science. You are vaccinated. You not only cannot get significant disease, you can't transmit if you're vaccinated. So the only people who have to worry are people that choose not to be vaccinated, and they wear a mask to protect themselves or not if they choose to. Yeah. But it's not us wearing a mask after having been vaccinated does follow the science, nothing.
This is the same guy that said we didn't need to wear masks.
Yeah.
And then we did need to wear masks, and I guess that was because we didn't have enough masks, although everyone I see is wearing homemade masks.
Right.
And now we don't, and once you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear one.
Yeah.
And so this has been the person that has single-handedly driven all the confusion.
Yeah.
And has never really followed the science as it's developed. And so, I mean, I was told over the weekend by someone that I don't trust anything the government says. Mm-hmm. And I'm starting to sort of believe we all need to take
Welcome.
Yeah, she's talking about Fauci. But notice, they're all in on the vaccines. It's all good. No one over there says, oh, I don't even know about these vaccines. They're giving them to kids. None of that.
That's pathetic. So we've lost Fox.
We never had Fox. Has always been always a dog.
From the day we started this show, you always thought that Fox
run
was
by Democrats. Yeah, of course.
And I've given the example locally. We have a right wing station. We have left wing stations. And there was a moment, I think it continues, where the left wing station and the right wing stations both had the exact same program director.
Oh, yeah.
Same guy.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah. Now let's talk about your freedom, because you don't have your freedom until you get the jab. No freedom. This is, oh yes. Okay. So, Amazon is vying to be a big healthcare provider. And the way Amazon does it is a very typical style for them, just like AWS and, their Amazon Web Services. They use the stuff themselves internally first, and then they see if they can make money off of it by selling it to someone. So they're taking the same strategy with their healthcare. So their telemedicine app and service, they first gave it to all their employees, and the employees. So not only do you piss in a bottle, you're also like in the Amazon medical test. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead. This is now your new healthcare. So now, with the mask, not mask, Amazon has come up with their own little Judenstern idea, as they have a green sticker that allows you to go anywhere without your mask within Amazon. And this was discussed with Jim Jordan of Ohio, and I'm sure this is Fox.
I want to circle back now to Amazon, and I don't know if we have the screenshots here, but these were some images that were sent to me today of how Amazon is announcing this to their employees. It's some HR documents announcing the idea of this green sticker. But they also are asking their employees when they log in to a weekly check-in whether or not they have been vaccinated. And again, I don't know if we have that image right now. We had it a little bit earlier, but there's a list of choices for Amazon employees to say whether or not they have been vaccinated, whether or not they're just have received their first shot, not yet their second shot, whether or not they're going to get vaccinated, or a fourth choice, whether or not they choose not to be vaccinated. How is this not a HIPAA violation for a company to be asking their employees their vaccination status?
Yeah, I don't know. It's something that we need to look at, but we also need to push back on this. I know Governor DeSantis is pushing back on this kind of maneuvers, this kind of action in his state. We in elective office need to push back on this. I mean, it's about your fundamental liberties. It's about respecting the Constitution, respecting the common sense, and most importantly, like we've said several times, respecting the science, for goodness sake.
Hey, dude, why don't you go run something? These people all annoy me now.
Oh, Jordan is getting on my nerves, too.
Does he do anything except appear on Fox News? Do any of these people do anything?
Stuff. He's very annoying. He's annoying in a lot of. I should mention something, by the way. What you just described about these little stickers that they're using in Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
When I was at the meetup, a couple of the women there work at Cal Berkeley. Every meetup I go to, there's always people from Cal Berkeley, but they work on the campus. They're doing the same thing. They're making them wear these green and yellow stickers as they roam around. I said, why don't you just make it a yellow star?
Yes, the star is the way to go. Yeah, and then and you should tattoo your vaccine lot number on the inside.
I think the lot number should be Yes, it should be tattooed on your forearm.
Yes.
On the bottom part.
That's right. Yes. Go Google those pictures for historical context. Now, in Australia, they're pitting Australians against each other. Now, here, we haven't really had I guess that's not true. New Jersey, New York did have you're coming from out of state, you got a quarantine rule. Although I don't think they ever had armed guards at the bridges and tunnels. But that was a general rule. This is Scott Morrison in a conversation about the states in Australia and how, vaccine passports might be a way to go for them.
That would require state premiers to have the power to stop people crossing their borders who haven't been vaccinated, wouldn't it? It would have to be done in concert with the state and territories who actually prevent Australians moving from one state to another consistent with their public health orders. Those public health orders that are done at a state level are the instrument that is used legally to prevent Australians moving from one state to another. Pretty big reason to get vaccinated. I think it is.
Man, these people are all evil.
It's a good reason to get vaccinated?
Yeah, so you can travel across state lines. It's a good reason. I'd say it's a good reason. That and your 50-cent scratch-off card, mate. But that's only the smallest problem. That's the smallest problem Australia has. Pivoting away for a moment. Pivoting out of the COVID. I could not believe this is going on in New South Wales, in Australia. Where are our producers? Where is the evidence? Where is the video? Where is the outrage? Where is the fear of the mice?
Look, closer to home, this mice plague is reaching horrific proportions. Psychologists are now saying the mental health impact of statewide infestation is comparable to a natural disaster like a bushfire or a flood. One family said, quote, they've moved into our studio, they've moved into our house, they've moved into our walls. Other families report mice getting into the sheets and the linen. Baits and traps are scarce. Supermarket and hardware shelves across Canberra are empty. Although people in the bush are spending thousands of dollars on mice traps and baits, many can't get a full night's sleep without waking up to the sound of mice scurrying through their homes, in their beds, in their wardrobes. Many of these people have been through drought and bushfire, but this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. The stress from all this is awful. Worse than that, farmers have lost a fortune in prized grain. There is literally economic havoc. I must stress this is affecting children. One 11-year-old in Warren said he goes into their shed and there are thousands of them. The hay bales turned into mush, mice running across your feet, and there's no relief for these children in school. Warren's St Mary's Primary School has 140 children and staff. Mice have infested classrooms and the schoolyards. They set mouse traps that are constantly going off around everyone. The mice chew through pencils and books and paperwork. Now, as I said, the bush has faced drought, flood and now mice. People thought if they got rain, everything might be over, but there seems to be no evidence of that. Families have to change bed sheets every other day. The mice are actually in their beds. I've been through one of these plagues as a kid. It's terrifying.
This is fantastic. And you should see the video. It's just thousands of mice and they're climbing up against walls on top of each other. And
where? You saw a video?
Yeah, this is Alan Jones, a whole 7-minute report on this.
I can recognize his voice, but Where is this in us? New South Wales?
New South Wales, yeah.
What? Any specific town? Is it the whole state?
No, he said it's 500 miles across. It's insane.
It's like so it's the 500 miles, like from San Francisco to Los Angeles.
Mice.
Solid mice.
No, but that's the plague is felt across 500 miles. Yes. So yeah, maybe kind of like the ants in California. You don't really see it, but it's there. And he said that he has been through, so this is not a new thing. This is something that's happened before. Now, I know in Australia, they call the kangaroo for the very same reason, because they are rodents. And all they do is...
they're marsupials. They're not rodents.
No, trust me, they're rodents.
Well, I mean, I know
they're
you
rodents.
mean, but...
No, they're rodents. They're just hippity-hoppity rodents. There's 40 million of them, and they hump like crazy, so they have to cull them. And and people get paid. They get paid for roo.
I've heard the kangaroo meat, roo meat, as they like to call it, or I call it.
Shit.
I thought it was good.
Nah, it's tough.
You've tried it?
Yes. The emu.
What's wrong with it?
It's tough. It was just tough and.
Well, then maybe it wasn't cooked right. I still
had it in Australia from an Australian. How could I go wrong?
Are Australians known for their great cooking abilities?
On the Barbie, they are.
On the Barbie, that's probably what they're doing wrong.
I've had the emu egg. That was delicious.
Oh, that's got to be good.
You get an emu
turkey
omelet.
Eggs are supposed to be delicious too. I haven't yet to have one.
No, emu omelet was dynamite.
Goose eggs are good.
Yep, goose eggs.
Goose egg is like for people. I don't want to get off track here.
No,
goose egg is like
this is better than COVID.
2/3, maybe 3/4 yolk. It's huge. It's like a giant yolk and a very little white.
Yeah.
Oh, it's delicious. Yeah. It's perfect for cakes and pastries. Oh.
Anyway, what do you do against a mice plague? What do you do?
Poison them.
Yeah, but if it's a vast, just a sea of mice, I mean, you're going to poison a hell of a lot of other things if you just poison, because other things eat the mice. I mean,
Yeah, that's the old reason. You some poor. Most of the animals that eat mice will not eat a dead mouse.
Right. All right, back to the COVID. This is the next phase.
How did we get onto this mice story?
From Australia. I was in Australia with the COVID, crossing the lines, and then I had to break for mice.
Okay.
And then now this is the news. This is from NPR, so you're going to be hearing this. It's coming, and, this is just a setup.
Scientists say they have discovered...
Okay, you already know it's true. Scientists say
they have discovered a new coronavirus in Malaysia that can infect people. As NPR's Michaeline Duclef reports, there is no evidence that this virus can spread from person to person.
Mm-hmm. This coronavirus has never been seen before and is different than SARS-CoV-2, which causes COVID-19. Dr. Gregory Gray and his colleagues at Duke University detected the virus in samples taken from pneumonia patients at a hospital. They tested about 300 samples and found signs of a new virus in 8 of them.
That's a pretty high prevalence of viruses, I think 2.7% or something, that were, positive. That is remarkable.
The virus likely comes from dogs. So far, it has been found only in one part of Malaysia called Sarawak. The findings appear in the journal Clinical Infectious Diseases.
They're coming for your pets. They're coming. It's going to
your assertion all along.
It's going to jump from a dog to a human. They're setting it up. Why else this story? Oh, we have a new coronavirus. It can't transfer to humans yet. It happens in dogs. Never near humans. It's a beautiful setup. Maybe it's just a backup, just in case we need a new one.
Yeah, well.
So what do you think it is?
Investigations begin, and maybe they'll keep Pfizer from marketing yet another vaccine.
Well, so this is the question. Where does everyone move from here? So I am convinced that vaccine passports will be a thing, but it will be optional. You can also take a test, show a test, do a couple of tests. I'm not for border crossings. I'm not too worried about that. I am seeing total push towards making businesses and private industry mandate this. But I think you're right. It's over. It's done with. They had to chop it all off immediately. Everyone's freaking out. What? Oh, okay. It's effective now, so now you don't need a mask.
No, they're winding down fast, very fast.
Very, very fast. So
and only the people, in fact, if you don't notice this, or if you see it in your local news coverage, for anyone out there, and they're not winding it down, they never got the memo.
Right.
They're going to be called up eventually, say, hey, look, we got nothing. Or they're going to have to do, they're going to crank up some more. It's going to wind down. It's going to, by July 4th, I think July 4th, they're going to go slow. But after that, it's going to be, there's not going to be any more cases. I think the thing is passed by us months ago.
Oh, yes. Well, and the guy who, I'll get it for Sunday. Top virologist is now the French guy, so I'll have to read it to you while he's speaking. But it has subtitles. He's saying these variants, it's from vaccinating people. He says every immunologist, every virologist, everyone knows you do not vaccinate during the pandemic. He says the variants come from people who are vaccinated.
Yes, a lot of these guys have asserted this.
And, so, oh my goodness. Thank God there's podcasts and stuff. I mean, so at least we feel like we're in a world where it makes more sense. Because, man, it ain't out there. It's not on cable. It's not over the air. It's not in the newspapers. And it's really not on the web. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage and say in the morning to you, the man who put 2 C's in the COVID child abuse, John C. Dvorak. What are we drinking today?
Today I'm drinking, I moved on.
It's Tab, isn't it? I can tell it.
Nope, it's V8 Sparkling Energy, orange pineapple drink.
So why wouldn't you just, eat an orange and a pineapple?
Because this has got energy.
Does it say? Tell me about the energy. What exactly?
It says energy. Let me sip it. Let me see what this is like.
I felt you've been pretty energetic today, so maybe there's something to it.
We got up early for some reason.
Oh, okay. That's good. We like it when you get
jacked up.
You are
on this energy drink. Woo!
Yeah, baby. Excellent. Well, the V8, let's see if we can get a deal with them. I wouldn't mind having a little bit of V8 juice in the morning.
V8, they may be amenable. We haven't gotten a deal from anybody else. The Canadians haven't coughed up. La Croix.
No, the La Croix also loses its carbonation very quickly, I've noticed.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah. La Croix is not,
Anyway, this is the V8 Sparkling Energy. It's got no vegetables in it. I don't know what it's called. It's just a brand.
I thought V8 had 8 vegetables. That's what and it came in the little cans. My parents used to drink it.
No, not this stuff. This is a clear drink, so it's got no vegetables.
Clear? It's a clear drink?
Yeah, it's clear. It's a clear drink with a slight orange tint.
You're being duped, man. You're drinking chemicals. What is in that?
Caffeine. It looks like...
now you're talking.
It looks like about as much caffeine, more caffeine than a cola. More as much caffeine as a Red Bull. It's a Red Bull amount of caffeine.
Oh, have 2. That's great.
No.
Is that for any fluoride in there? Any other groovy ingredients? Hey, in the morning.
What is MDMA? That's it on the list here.
Do you want to say in the morning to anybody?
Yeah, in the morning to you. In the morning to all ships at sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the wall, and the dames and the knights out there.
Yes, in the morning to our trolls. Let's do a little troll call. All right, hands up there, trolls. They are at noagendastream.com. We're going to count them. It is a Thursday, 1,713 trolls listening along, many in the troll room. Again, noagendastream.com, where you can log in and you can listen to the live show. You can also hear other live shows, and in fact, we have many podcasts that run. It's a stream, 24/7, and you have a coordinated chat. You're in there. Everyone's listening to the same thing, or not. and you're all trolling around and doing your thing. It's a free-for-all, and somehow it works. Over a decade, the troll room has been there for all. And many of them you will find on noagendasocial.com, which is our federated social network. It's part of the Mastodon Federation. So you can follow at John C. Dvorak at noagendasocial.com or at Adam at noagendasocial.com from any Mastodon server. And I've since it is impossible to maintain anything above the 10,000 members that we have now, again, you can still participate. We've decided no more registrations. We want people to federate themselves, and we welcome the brand new Mastodon instance, itmslaves.com. You know, okay, maybe you can't get your name here at noagendasocial.com, but I probably want to go get an Adam at itmslaves.com. And there's also gitmo.life. So these are places where you can participate. So check that out, please. That's all right. And now we want to thank the artist for episode 1347. The title of that was Big Caffeine. And Mike Riley brought us the artwork, which Mike Riley is good. Let's just put that up front. And is he a cartoonist by trade, or is he? He must be.
Yeah, he does. He's
a professional.
I don't know. He may do other things, but I know he's a professional cartoonist.
Well, he did a magnetogenetics piece of art with a what is it? A rat
hypnotized mouse
hypnotized with the magnet. It's just funny. You just look at that piece and you can't help but crack up. I think it's the look on the mouse's face. And see, what else did we consider? No, we're not going to put Rachel Maddow on our album art. No.
Yeah, we told you before. One of the things we won't do. We don't have any offensive images, anything ugly, because we don't want it associated with the show. So right. if you run a piece like I remember some years ago, somebody did some toothless pics that they got from the internet. The guy's no teeth. They look like, no, that's not going on the art. So Rachel Maddow's in that category.
Yeah.
She's
totally.
Not a handsome
CIA
woman.
tube, cute, but you used the Pandemics for Dummies in the newsletter, didn't you?
Yeah, I like that.
Make your own pandemic. Didn't we have one like that already?
We've used the dummies.
We've had the dummies
model at least twice before.
Was there anything else that we consider? Oh, you kind of like the Rewire by Mountain Jay with but it kind of bordered on, coronavirus art.
Oh, I don't remember.
Part of the problem. Yeah, let's see what else was there.
I was kind of tuned into Riley's piece from the beginning.
And was there also the Mask Forever with the skull with the mask on it? I think we looked at that, but we thought, it's not really that.
I don't like to put necessarily. It depends on the skull, but I shy away from skulls.
It depends on the skull.
Well, some skulls are funny.
Yeah, no, these were not funny. These were kind of, like real skulls. You're like, oh, that's a skull. You probably, if you have a Podcasting 2.0 compatible podcast app, which you must try today, whatever you're using now, stop using it unless it already is Podcasting 2.0 compatible. Go to newpodcastapps.com. You can see this artwork flying by. There's links in the chapters. We have transcripts. You can search in the transcript. How about that? Oh, what did they say on this? I knew it was that episode, but where was it? You can click and you can go right in and you can search for stuff. I recommend today you try out AntennaPod if you use Android. It's been around for a long time. They've been a very successful app, and they now as well are connected to podcastindex.org as a part of Podcasting 2.0, and we really appreciate that. Now, let's thank some of our producers. We like to thank the executive producers and the associate executive producers up front as part of our value for value model, which is very simple. You listen to the show. There's no cost for you to listen to it. There's no paywalls, no hoops to jump through. There's no registration. You can do whatever you want. You can copy it. You can burn it to CDs. You can anything. All we ask is if you found any value in this, why don't you return that value and Put in a number, send it off in a donation, and make that number meaningful to you. That's all that we ask, and that is how the experiment has continued to function for we're in our 14th year now, the No Agenda Show. Not for nothing, the best podcast in the universe. And so
I should mention, before I mention K-Brew, which you have to follow up with.
Yep.
That Zephyr did go by. On time, more or less. It was an 8-car Zephyr with 2 additional cars that were put on the end that were private cars. 2 of them, and I've seen these 2 private cars before. They're beautiful. It's a 2-car set. I think they sold as a combination. They're cream colored. They look like, I don't know where they're from or what the train was. I found them. I have found them on the internet. It's like a cream colored dining car followed by a cream colored observation car with a dome on it. And they're just gorgeous looking cars. So some rich guy there's a big party going on and they're on the Zephyr heading to Chicago.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's your official Zephyr Economic Report. Alert everybody over at Squawk Box CNBC, because when you have 2 private cars strapped onto a Zephyr, you know things are on the up and up. Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin just over $40,000.
Oh my God! Woo! Listen to that horn!
Okay.
And that's the report. Anyway, K-Brew LLC came in with $2,333.33, and this is a screwy donation. Why? Because, Adam?
Because it was sent to my P.O. box, which is very confusing, and I don't know why it was sent to my P.O. box, but it was sent to my P.O. box, and I don't...
How often do you go to that P.O. box?
Once every 2 weeks, maybe?
Yeah, twice a month.
Twice a month,
I go to my P.O. box, or the official No Agenda P.O. box, twice a week.
Yeah, well, it's part of the gig. You know.
He sent the money, and then he sent you a note.
Well, he sent me product.
Oh, product.
Yes, product. Dear Crackpot and Buzzkill. Now, this is from K-Brew LLC. The 2 gentlemen who are brothers did not put their names in here, but I'll read. Thank you for many years of quality media deconstruction. You have kept us sane in this clown world. We are 2 brothers who roast coffee in Tennessee. And this year, we finally launched our ultimate passion project, NoAgendaCoffee.com. Again, part of our model has been, whatever, fine. Just send us some money if you make anything. Did you get a licensing agreement from them on this, John? Did you sign off on this?
I didn't get a licensing agreement. I got two small bags of coffee.
Oh, you got coffee too. Oh, good. Well, let me finish.
I got the Jitty and the in the morning.
Wait, let me finish. Let me finish before we do a review. Our first 2 specialty coffees, a blend and a single origin, are available to buy now on the site. They are No Agenda themed, and 20% of every sale goes to the show. This is our small way of contributing to the NA metaverse. For any producer who loves drinking coffee while listening to the best podcast in the universe, check out NoAgendaCoffee.com. We ship our coffee fresh twice per week with a full money-back guarantee. And then he says, now in Ben Shapiro style, please repeat NoAgendaCoffee.com 5 more times. Thanks, guys! And please knight me as Sir Spro, and knight my brother as Sir Bean Brewer of the South, requesting lattes and lox bagels at the round table, and please give an R2-D2 karma for all the producers. So before we do that, I did try the coffee. Have you tried any?
Yes, we tried the in the morning coffee. I've not gone to the Super Jitty or whatever it's called.
I tried the outright Jitty, which
which,
by the way, I'm reading from the bag here, is from Gitmo Jungle Lands, FEMA Region 233. And tasting notes are kale, chemtrails, and ant pepper. How does the FDA let them do this? And on the back, the product is fabulous.
I don't think coffee's regulated by the FDA, for one thing. The FTC might get annoyed by certain things.
It's not food? 97% of all scientists agree that this is the best coffee in the world. Value for value. Don't be a douchebag. Dvorak.org/NA. And it has a little star. An outstanding product. And it says, proudly roasted by your fellow knights in Tennessee. And then it has the Gitmo Nation national anthem on the back, too. The lyrics.
Oh, nice.
And then,
yeah, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. And then,
well, yes, we had the in the morning coffee. It's quite good. It's got a nice, professionally blended flavor.
Yep.
It's got, there's nothing to object to about it.
Actually, I had this yesterday, the outright jitty. I could do with no, wait, did I have the outright jitty or in the morning? No, I'm not sure. No, I think I had in the morning. You're right.
I haven't had the outright jitty.
No, I went because this was medium roast. I like a dark roast personally.
I think the outright jitty is a dark roast.
No, light roast.
Oh,
and the in the morning blend tasting notes are mutton and meat, mac and cheese, and cricket protein. So that's good drinking right there. Yes, so we look forward to knighting these two gentlemen. Thank you so much. We're very excited for your venture, and hope everyone loves the coffee. Another no agenda venture with no LLC. We're so smart.
Well.
Oh, and wait, R2D2 karma. Sorry.
You've got karma.
There you go. Thank you, brothers.
Onward. I don't know how he got this wrong, but Sir Onimus came in with 1442.
Oh. Holy crap.
Which was similar to his 1440. I think it was 1444 last time. Yeah, it was 1442. And he says a note. I have the note here, and you can tell I have the note because
I can hear it.
It makes noise.
I have the note here, too. It's a different note.
Yeah, but your note is a copy of this note. Thank you for all the producers for their ongoing. It's a very short note today. Thanks for all the producers for their ongoing. So I guess he's not traveling. That's my guess.
Right.
For their ongoing efforts to make this program and its infrastructure robust, useful, and informative. My donation is late for Eid, but I would like to wish everyone a belated Eid Mubarak. Okay. You just got an extra word in there for some reason.
Okay.
I read it because you never know. It could be code.
Yeah, it could be code.
Little knew I continue to travel as a COVAX nudist, relying on PCR tests to board international flights. So hadn't had the vaccine.
Yes, he has sent me private messaging on how best to travel the way he does. And you can do it. You can travel around the world with tests without a vaccine.
On PCR tests to board international flights and existing and improving therapeutics, should I contract this weapon of mass hysteria? In other words, he's got his ivermectin with him.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
Course. Yeah, he's smart.
I'm looking forward to election posturing over the next 18 months with the M5M hyping stories for clicks and profit. On with the show. No jingles, no karma. Okay.
Fabulous. Seronimus of Dogpatch in Lower Slobovia, everybody. And the man is
Seronimus.
And
Sir Lipponite's next on the list with $963.69 from Utah. And he says, what does he say? Happy Wednesday, gentlemen. Thank you both for your service. Sir Lipponite, White Knight. That's a nice note, nice short note.
Love that.
So we go on with Seronimus, Baron of Arapahoe County and the ADFC in Aurora, Colorado, $369.99. And he has a little note. I believe this is his.
Yeah, he put it on a hotel stationery.
Yeah, from 1893, the Hotel Colorado. A short note from Colorado. Please credit me as Sir Anonymous, blah, blah, blah. We did that. Thanks to you and all the producers for my continued sanity. Karma, please.
You've got karma.
Again, as we're on a roll here.
Yes,
Amanda Bolin in Farmington, Minnesota, 348.33. For the dude named Ben in my life, Matthew Schock, his quick wit and sometimes brutal truths have enriched my existence immeasurably.
Ooh.
Please give him a big dose of karma for his new build and add him to the birthday list. Credits go to him. So we have a switcheroo.
Yep. I got the switcheroo is done.
Switcheroo.
Yep.
Please add Matthew Schock to the B-Day list May 20th on his 35th birthday. The executive producer credit goes to him. Reiterates. Thank you for all you do. We'd be adrift in the sea of stupidity without John and you. Love is lit.
Fantastic. Thank you.
From AJ.
All right. And,
you've got this next one.
I do. Sir Rock Taster. Sir Rock Taster, 337 from Fairbanks, Alaska. That's one of the upper states. I used a random generator to output a 3-digit integer, which is my donation of 337. I hope it helps the cause. Proud to be a, hopefully, co-executive producer for Show 1348. Well, you are. Taking a cue from Adam, this is completely contrary to the actual situation, but hush, hush, because the border is somewhat open and the state is open for business. Things really suck up here in Alaska. There are so many blue staters and woke blue checkmark thugs moving in, it's impossible for a local to find a place to hang his or her hat. It's hotter than it's ever been in the interior. Soon all the forests will be on fire. The sea is washing away with many of our communities. If COVID-19 doesn't kill you first, there's a bear or an eagle poised to strike behind every dumpster. Also, migratory birds are back, flying around, squawking and pooping all over the place, just like the M5M. We are all definitely going to die. Don't need to come up here with your RV or set sail on a cruise. Just send us cash. Well, I think that's very clear how he feels about that. My better 3/4 and I need some potentially belated house buying / selling karma. Just closed on a new home yesterday, which is perfect for our family of 4, with a good water well, a small hobby farm, and a chicken coop. Gives me a bit of a feeling of security that we will be able to better weather an emergency of some sort. It'll be eating omelets. It feels like it was a pretty good deal. It's a bit of a fixer-upper, but it's in more than livable condition. Just needs upkeep and retrofits. Got it for 3% under the asking price and had to kick in 1.5% cash over appraisal. So feel like it was removed from some of the craziness and speculation, which is driven by what? I'm told the Air Force and their VA loans. Houses are not an investment, but an asset and a liability. Got to have a roof over your head in Alaska. I don't know what that means. I'll have to look into that. Now we will be selling our small starter home, need our equity out so we don't feel so cash poor, so hoping for a quick, simple deal, low closing costs, and low to no commissions. Your supporter, Sir Rock Taster. Oh yes, and John, Proton Mail always comes through with your newsletter. Worth every penny, and there is a VPN option. And Sir Rock, thank you very much. I know the feeling. I know the buying and selling in the same situation to get it all working smoothly. Here's the karma you need. It's on its way to you.
You've got karma.
Daniel and Zaldua. What do you think?
And Daniel and Zaldua. Dua and Zaldua.
I think it's Dua, but
Dua?
okay. Carmel, Indiana, 333. He writes, back with Adam after all these years after seeing him on Rogan. Replay.
Ooh.
Rogan donation.
Well, it's worth the Rogan donation, Jingle.
After all these years, okay. I'm donating 333 for a 333K Bitcoin in 2021 and value for value.
Nice.
Gonna need a de-douching once, and he needs China.
Oops, sorry. I'm sorry.
You've been de-douched.
There we go.
And he needs 2 jingles. He needs a China is asshole, and you're gonna need a Bitcoin.
Yes.
China is asshole.
They're saying that all hell is gonna break loose, and you're gonna need a Bitcoin.
That's right. Hell yeah. They're cheap. Get them now.
Kurt Butler is next on the list. He becomes our first associate executive producer at $250 from South Bend, Indiana. Thanks for all that you do, educational and entertaining. Karma for non-listeners to get them on the right track and for employers to find workers.
Yes, need some workers.
You've got karma.
Deborah Reese from Pittsboro, North Carolina, 24823. I met my smoking hot boyfriend, Christopher Michael, after posting a dating site profile saying, quote, mask-free, atheist, libertarian, prepper, seek same, to partner in doing whatever it takes to subvert the tyranny of masks, mandatory vaccines, the Great Reset, and the New World Order. Bonus points if you listen to No Agenda. Let's see how that turned out. he responded, "In the morning." And the rest is history. This is beautiful. Christopher, I love you madly. Happy 48th birthday on May 23rd. But I must call you out as a douchebag. Douchebag. For all the happy couples No Agenda brings together and keeps together, thank you. Please play the Boogity 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 jingle song.
Boogity, 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 anyway. What's the drivers unusual tonight? Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife.
Aw, that's so sweet. And I totally believe that.
Yeah, it's very funny. And I do too. It sounds like something that would happen.
Yeah.
There's more people that listen to our show than we'd like to imagine.
We really need a dating service.
Alexander J. Myers in Mount Sterling, Ohio, $211.09. ITM, John and Adam, this donation is from my grandmother, Jackie Sisson. And should all credits go to her? Another switcheroo.
Yep, got it.
Go to her and all the F cancer karma and anything else you can spare. 11/9 is her birthday. I'll try to send an email as well. Thank you both.
All right.
You've got karma.
Daniel Haggerty.
Yes.
In I Own. You know,
I own.
This is a town. You know, when your locals always can pronounce the words of all those crazy little towns in their state.
Yeah.
This is the only one that I'm never sure of. Is it Ione or Ione?
No, it's tough.
I know all the other ones, but this one, every time I see it,
I mean, we have local. We have people say Guadalupe and others say Guadalupe.
Well, it's Ione in today's show, $200.33. ITM, John and Adam, my outstanding keeper, and I recently attended the San Francisco meetup and thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. Upon hearing John's mention of the beautiful women and one particular knockout of a woman, I knew he could only be referring to my gorgeous head of human resources, Ashley.
Of course he did.
Of course. I told her this must be the case, and she graciously accepted the flattery. Saturday will mark the 10th year of our marriage, and our love is ever expanding. We have 3 human resources, 9, 6, and Saturday our son Drew turns 1. He's on the birthday list, I think.
I believe so.
Thank you for the great show, gentlemen. Daniel Haggerty.
Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, very nice.
Camera Dops, $200 as the best note of the day. Thanks guys. Thank you, Camera.
Yes.
Forrest Martin, $200. Hey, John and Adam. This is my yearly birthday donation for the 19th. Maybe next year I'll claim my knighthood, but I'm being too lazy to figure out the accounting at this moment. No jingles, just jobs karma for anyone who needs it. Forrest.
Jobs.
Joe. You've got karma.
Damn, I love that one.
You're up.
Tim Powers, Washington, Oklahoma. I'd like to start by thanking both of you for all the work you do for all of us twice a week, and especially those D-bags who don't donate but enjoy the benefits anyway. So let's get to that first. I would like to call out JT, whom I hit in the mouth as a douchebag. And RG, who hit me in the mouth as a douchebag. You know who you are and you know what you need to do. I want to tell all the listeners out there to donate. This is the best source of sanity in news that's available anywhere, and we are the sustainers of that. So if you don't donate, start today. I signed up for $4 a week value for value plan back in late 2017 and chipped in larger donations about once a year for special occasions like Adam's wedding or John's birthday. I'm only $155 from becoming a knight, so I've sent in $200 to become an associate executive producer and become a knight, both things that are so super cool. I'd like to be known as Sir McGillicuddy. That's the crazy nickname my dad gave me as a kid for some reason. Knight of the Sooner State, if it pleases the Peerage Committee. I think we're okay with that. You guys are the best. No jingles, no karma. Thank you, Tim. That's a nice note. Very excited for you.
It's Sir R.D. McGillicuddy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed it. Sir R.D. McGillicuddy. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
some nickname. Or something. But that's it. That's our group of associate executive producers and executive producers for show 1348. I believe.
Indeed. And we appreciate what you've done. You have once again dragged us through another episode. You're keeping us going, keeping the lights on. It is part of the value for value system. It's the best way to go. You listen to, what are we now? We're over an hour and a half, but you certainly, the first hour, the stuff we discuss, you're not going to find that anywhere else. And it's because we don't have ads. That's really, and we have nothing to lose. we have no careers, no dignity or anything like that. So, it's a perfect combination. You guys support it. We'll continue to do it. I'm going to die spitting in this mic, I tell you. If you want to learn how to contribute, go to
Dvorak.org/NA.
And thank you again for your time, your talent, your treasure of producing episode 1348.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Order.
Shut up, slave.
Shut up, slave.
Do you want a quick little Austin update before we launch into something else?
Yes.
So on the 11th of May...
I will stop you before you do that. I should mention that people should relish these because we will not be getting them in a month.
That's correct. We are moving out of town. We are moving towards...
We're going to get the Waco report, which is
yes.
useless.
Yes, we're moving to Waco. Done. That's funny in so many different ways. The Waco report. No, this is the Austin report. We had a referendum of sorts. We had an off-year election where we had a proposition put on the ballot to reinstate the camping ban. And since the camping ban has been instated, the city of Austin has done absolutely nothing. In fact, we have a 60-day transition period, which has now been determined by the city council. Instead of saying, hey, the law is now in place, you got to go away, and here's some places you could go. Instead, the first 30 months, community service will be out with the unhoused along with the police. The police will be handing out pamphlets, letting them know that in 30 days they'll be back. And in 30 days they come back, and then they will maybe hand out some tickets. And only after 60 days, will they start to remove people. Now, of course, this being liberal Austin, whoa, what are we going to do with these people? We have to have a spot for them. Well, right now they have surrounded City Hall. This is fantastic. The Keeper and I we drove downtown last night for our second anniversary dinner. I love you, darling. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for making me legit.
Photos?
Yes, there's photos. She posted some photo on the Instagram, but no photos of the tents.
That's what I wanted.
And I'll tell you why. It's dangerous. There are so the tents now, and you were never allowed to camp in front of City Hall. Now it's all around City Hall, all the way up 2nd Street, and there's a BLM bus, and there's unruly characters now, like big dudes who are in these tents. Something is brewing, and it's going to come to a head. There's going to be fighting, and it's going to be at City Hall. I guarantee you, these characters are up to no good. They should be removed from City Hall immediately. It has never been allowed there, but okay. And it's, John, it's I have no words. How trash. That's where I lived 2 years ago. We lived there. Now you cannot walk on the sidewalk. It's crazy. So what has the city controller now done? He said, well, I know what we'll do. We'll just designate, city parks, everyone has some city parks in their district, and we'll have 45 different places which will now be city parks, which have to be a minimum of 2 acres, 4 is preferred, will be transformed into camping sites. You can imagine this is not going over very well.
Today, the city of Austin released a list of 45 potential sites that could become designated homeless encampments.
KXAN's Jacqueline Powell is live for us at Givens Park, which is one of the spots on the list. Jacqueline.
A lot of options on the list are city parks like this or recreation centers, places with a lot of space to put everything that people need to stay there. Now, the city of Austin wants any designated camping spot to at least have about 2 acres or more, and also to have room for plenty of things like tents, shelter, any restroom, showers people might need. So today I went out with Austin's homeless outreach resource team as they gave out these flyers and went around educating people who are camping about what the move might look like eventually. Given their first look at the city's list so far for areas that could transform into something like this, council members had mixed reactions.
I'm right now not confident about the ones that are on this list right now, but I hope that we can get our heads together.
Concerns about wildfire and flooding risk in some spots and placing the homeless in busy parks. The city manager stressed council members will play a role in looking for other potential properties.
We're going to be following up with each of you individually to look at other potential sites in your district. Those may not be city-owned properties, but maybe you have a relationship with a private landowner.
City staff did mention today that of the 70 places originally, city properties that is, originally identified as potential spots, they are still vetting some of them. So this list of 45, you could see some of those still added to this list. But again, council members seem to take a lot of issue with some of the locations in their briefing today. So they are really stressing that this list is in no way final and that it may even be possible that none of the spots on this list are eventually picked.
You can imagine people not wanting the park in their neighborhood to become a filthy campground. Many of them
Did I hear them say that they want the city council to do site checks to find places?
Oh, yeah. They're insane, these people. How about you're not allowed to camp in the city of Austin? Bye-bye. No. Nah. And guess where there's no camp scheduled? Terrytown, Clarksville, 78704, the chicest zip code. No, nothing planned there where the rich people live.
Huh. Wow, that's a mess. I mean, we have a situation in the San Francisco area. San Francisco, the Walgreens made an announcement yesterday. They're pulling all the Walgreens out of. There's like 19 of them. I know there's not many,
because they just keep getting robbed, right?
Yes, the shoplifting is out of control because the socialist district attorney of San Francisco, he's a socialist. He's was raised by Bill Ayers, I believe, when he was.
Makes sense. What, with Obama together? They were brothers?
No, Bill, he was taken in, I think he was an orphan or something. He was a socialist.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one who adopted the anything under $1,000 not worth, the police shouldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
So if you get your window broken, too bad. If somebody goes into your store and steals a $90 dress,
yeah, too bad.
Big deal, nothing to it.
Same's going to happen here. It's exactly the same. Not in Waco, and we won't stand for that shit in Waco.
No, Waco, they'll shoot them.
Waco. Now, so while we're on just the crazy, and remember, there are people here in Austin. We played the clips before this vote who said, I really want this to pass, but I'm going to vote against because I feel so horrible for these people. And now they're interviewing the unhoused, and they're showing, well, look at they're crazy. Some of them are crazy. Like, look at all these knives I got. Here's my machete. They show them all drugged out. They're not from Austin. They are not our neighbors. They moved in because it was easy. They're just not from Austin. But Austin
is welcoming.
Austin is stupid. And here's you have always said, when we first discussed the noodle boy phenomenon, which how many years ago did we first identify this whiny noodle boy?
It was about 7.
Maybe longer. My employer is not fair. He tells us what to do. It's all wrong.
Yeah, this guy, he thinks he's the boss because he owns the place.
So you have been very clear. You cannot let these types of figures into your organization. Oh, if only Juice Land had listened.
4 Austin area Juiceland shops are closed. One is running on limited operations in Austin amid an ongoing strike. An Instagram account launched Sunday called Juiceland Workers' Rights. It details an ongoing dispute over wages and allegations of racism and sexism. Juiceland told KXAN on Saturday it would increase wages to a guaranteed $15 an hour starting Sunday. The company also started drafting a diversity, equity, and inclusion plan in March and will create additional ways for employees to offer feedback.
You know what the problem is? It's not even the $15 an hour. They probably pay him $20 an hour. They're so desperate for people to work. The problem is, remember now, racism and equity, and there was a specific complaint about bathrooms. They want a trans bathroom. So they've closed down 5 juice lands because of these demands. They can't get anyone to work.
Well, that's what you get when you hire these folk. You're just buying yourself a ticket out of business.
Well, let's listen to some more noodle gun stuff.
Freshmen may soon be a thing of the past at Penn State. The school is considering eliminating gendered and binary terms. Instead, students would be known as first, second, third, or fourth year students to be more inclusive. The terms under and upperclassmen may also be eliminated.
So you can't say freshmen anymore. Freshman because it has the word men in it.
The sophomore got in it.
No, they took it out. It's first, second, third, fourth year. How boring.
Dumb.
Oxford, though. Holy crap. They're taking it to a whole new level.
And look, I note this absurd story emerging from Oxford University, that they're going to teach students that imperial measurements, including the mile, inch, yard, pound, and ounce, are, quote, tied deeply to the idea of empire. The great Oxford University is going to decolonise imperial measurements and introduce a new curriculum to teach, quote, the history of modern measurement. As Mark Latham and I keep telling you, this is everywhere, this stuff. There is a new Vice-Chancellor, Louise Richardson, who wants to decolonise the teaching at Oxford, whatever that means. And science students this summer will conduct research to determine how science teaching can be made less Eurocentric, unquote. It's the same old stuff. In a letter signed by 35 college principals last June, it said, quote, the university has, as Britain does, a history that's marked by colonialism and imperialism, unquote. The Vice-Chancellor said, quote, many departments in the social sciences have begun work to make their curriculum more inclusive and adding diverse voices, unquote. Well, of course they have.
Wow. So imperial measurements now are colonial.
Well, this is going to bring me to my series of clips.
Okay. So do I do the noodle gun now, or do I wait for it?
I would play more noodle gun and then let me go to these clips. What I have here are clips from the University of California, Berkeley, the health department's, or the School of Public Health, the School of Public Health. Commencement, which they stupidly put online. One of our producers said it.
Bad idea. All right, I'll lead you into it. We just need to talk about 3 stories. Maddie in the Morning, you know Matt Siegel?
No, I don't.
Oh, well, he's Kiss 108 in Boston. He's been on Boston radio for 40 years. He's pretty much gone now because he was talking about Demi Lovato coming out as being intersex. Which I'm not sure. No, non-binary. She came
non-binary?
She came out as being non-binary.
Non-binary, pansex, intersex.
Yeah, but she's non-binary. And he was saying, well, this is dumb. And but Kiss 108 is now owned by iHeartRadio, and they said, no, you can't talk about that. So
you can't say that's dumb.
No, can't do that. Bob Garfield, co-host of On the Media for 2 decades in WNYC, fired.
On the Media guy?
Yes.
With Brooke, whatever her name is?
Brooke Gladstone, exactly. Yes.
Why? He's just been fired? A newsreader.
No. Bob Garfield, longtime co-host of WNYC's popular program On the Media, has been fired after 2 separate investigations found he had violated an anti-bullying policy. He apparently yelled in 2 meetings. Let me tell you something about about media. It's like when shit doesn't go right, it gets heated. And whether it's on the floor, whether it's what is it? Didn't we have Larry O'Donnell? I mean, that's a great example. When you get mad,
why don't you play the clip?
Yeah, which one? What was it? What is the one?
It's under Larry O'Donnell. It's under "Stop the Hammering."
Ah, yes, stop.
But it played the longer version of that.
Okay. Let me see if I have.
Or it could be under Lawrence O'Donnell.
I have. This is it, I think.
Let me just say, I've not talked about it publicly. I don't know how, but let me just say this: that
Oh no, that's him talking about it. Where the hell is that? I mean, I have.
Oh, look under hammering.
Well, I have stopped the hammering, but it's only this.
Okay, well we can skip
the hammering.
Anyway, you get the idea. It gets heated. People yell.
Bill O'Reilly. You got the Bill O'Reilly. We'll do it live as another example.
Yeah. No, he was really mad.
Curiously, we don't have these at the ready.
Yeah, wow, it's like...
Well, continue. Okay, the point is people yell in meetings.
Listen.
Live! Fuck it! Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks! That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching.
By the way, just before the camera or goes on or the mic cracks, it's very typical for someone to be, you fucking asshole, I can't believe you suck so much. And it's time for the news now on WNYC.
That's an old joke. It on sitcoms that will do that.
Happens all the time. Happens all the time. And then
he got fired for being angry in a meeting.
Yes. And then the CEO of the Audubon Society has stepped down amid internal turmoil.
Well, that's for the birds.
Yeah, well, here it is. That's a funny one, John. They were trying to unionize. Oops. And the guy apparently was racist. That's what the
How's that work?
He's racist. He's just racist. Get rid of him. Racist piece of shit. Racist.
I got my pasta Glock locked and loaded.
Be very careful who you hire, people. Very, very careful. It's a plague. They're going to have to get better. They're going to have to be better. But until then, don't hire these people. They will ruin your organization and your life.
All right.
Let's listen to some of the speeches to the new people who are going to ruin your life, who are on their way out of college, ready to go ruin some business.
All right. I'm trying to figure out which is the first of these clips. It must be, it's not HPM 1. We're talking about something else. There is the first clip is actually the best one. It should be one of the longer ones.
HPM 1 is 154.
Yeah, I don't know if that's it, but let's okay, so we had the School of Public Health, and they had the associate dean come on, who's a very screwy looking woman. And then they brought the dean on, and the dean wasn't much better. And he's he's an Asian guy. And let's start with HPM 1.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 Berkeley Public Health Virtual Commencement. My name is Quinn Hussey. I use the pronouns she, her, and I'm the Assistant Dean for Students.
Oh, wait, stop.
And have the honor of...
Okay. This is Quinn Hussey. We can start this over. I should say this in advance of this clip and maybe a couple others. Because she's kind of dull, I sweetened it a little bit so we could understand what was going on.
Okay.
With some side notes.
It's always risky. If you overdo it, you got to be careful on the sweetening.
No, I never overdo it.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 Berkeley Public Health Virtual Commencement. My name is Quinn Hussey. I use the pronouns she, her, and I'm the Assistant Dean for Students and have the honor of serving as your MC for our event today. Before we begin our event, I would like to take a few moments to do a land acknowledgement.
Land acknowledgement.
This acknowledgement was written by the American Indian Graduate Program and the Office of Graduate Diversity. We recognize that UC Berkeley sits on the territory of Huichin, the original landscape of the Chochenyo-speaking Ohlone people, the successors of the sovereign Verona Band of Alameda County. This region continues to be of great importance to the Muwekma Ohlone tribe and other familial descendants of the Verona Band. We recognize that every member of the Berkeley community has and continues to benefit from the use and occupation of this land since the institution's founding in 1868. Consistent with our values of community, inclusion, and diversity, we have a responsibility to acknowledge and make visible the university's relationship to Native peoples. As members of the Berkeley community, it is vitally important that we not only recognize the history of the land on which we stand, but also we recognize that the Muwekma Ohlone people are alive and flourishing members of the Berkeley occupation of Berkeley and broader Bay Area communities today.
So good.
Next, I would like to offer a minute of silence for the following.
Oh, boy.
To honor all black and brown lives that have been lost to police violence and brutality.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. Okay. What was her name? Queen Hussey? Why doesn't she just come out and say,
Quinn Hussey.
Hi, I'm Queen Hussey. I suck. That's basically what she said.
She's got a one of these. It's like a mohawk kind of haircut.
No, I have to go look at her.
And she's wearing all the garb that they had, but instead of just the garb, that kind of that vestment that you wear at these commencements.
Oh yes,
she's got a bow tie on it. I've never seen that before. Some goofy looking bow tie. So she comes on and she does this. Quinn is her name. Quinn. The dean comes on after that. But before to go to the dean, I want to skip to the undergraduate speaker who comes on. And this is, she introduces, this is a guy who was born and raised in California, some little town in California, but he goes on about she goes on about his Nigerian heritage as though California is part of Nigeria. and he goes on with kind of the same thing, which will bring me to a point after you play this clip. This is the UCBSPH undergrad speaker.
We have our undergraduate speaker, Chigozie Maruchukwu. Chigozie was born and raised in Elk Grove, California, and is proud of his Nigerian heritage. During his time at Cal, he served as the co-founder and president of ATP at Berkeley, an organization for pre-physical therapists, nurse practitioners, and physician's assistants.
I know that guy. I actually know that guy. He sent me an email.
Chigozie currently serves as the co-senator for equity and inclusion in the Regents and Chancellors Scholars Association and is honored to have been a Regents and Chancellor Scholar himself. I'm pleased to introduce our undergraduate speaker, Chigozie Maruchukwu.
Before starting this discourse, I would like to acknowledge that this land we are on is a territory of the Ohlone people. It is on this land that we recognize injustice and undeserved privilege, and undeserved privilege, and undeserved privilege. And it is also on their land that each of us is able to earn our degrees from the esteemed UC Berkeley School of Public Health.
Hold on a second. How many people are claiming this land?
No, they're not claiming. You're missing the point. You're not from California. You don't know what you're doing. You have no idea. What they're doing is they're thanking these Indians for the use of the land that they were occupying.
I understand. How many tribes belong to this land?
1,000.
That's what I mean. It's like it was the Wukachuki, and now it's the new guys.
The Humma-Hummas and the this and the that. And if they don't have a casino, then we have to thank them even more because they should have a casino. They got ripped off somehow.
How'd they not get a casino? Isn't that part of the deal?
Well, the only casino I know is the one up in San Pablo, and that's a specific tribe that used to have some land there in the railroad area.
Yeah.
When I remember when they were there, they were living there in little houses within the rail system.
Okay, so what do you think, in your estimation, since you live there, you've lived there a long time, what is the point of this this thanking for clearly occupying and having kicked them off their land. What is it, to rub it in their faces every time?
It's what it sounds like to me. I think it's an insult.
Yes, like, hey, thanks. Ha ha, suck out, look
thanks
at me.
for the land, you dummies.
look at this cool cap I got on. I'm graduating college, idiots.
I think the university should just give the land back to the Indians if they feel this way.
Right away.
Right now.
Yes,
What is the point of? You said it's occupied. This woman said we're occupied. We're occupiers.
That's like the Israelis occupying Palestine. I mean, it's
get out.
Occupation. Get out. Yep.
Get out. So I don't get it. But the other thing is, and you're going to hear with the rest of these clips, is what is the school? I have been very annoyed by the health departments of the entire country. They're lording it over doctors. Very few of them have medical degrees. They all have masters of public health, which is like a master's of business administration. They're lording it over everybody because they can, because of this virus. They've taken advantage of it. There are a bunch of social justice warriors, many of them, and I would say everybody I saw in this video could only be described as misfits. Goofy looking wannabe Hitlers.
Hold on. So let me just understand. Because they are at the health school and they have these impressive papers, they get to talk a lot on television, tell everyone how it's going to go and what we should do. Is that what you're saying? That's the power they've...
That's what's going on.
Right.
You've seen it.
So it's like the nerd who got a really big keychain. And gets keys to all the doors.
Nerd with the big keychain.
Yes, that's the one. Yes. Okay. I got it.
We can jump around now, but let's first go to the dean of the school. Some character who I just play this 1 minute clip from the dean. It says the dean, and you're going to hear a real complaint of mine.
And good afternoon, everyone, and congratulations, a huge congratulations to our graduating class of 2021. And let me also take a moment to extend my congratulations to all of you out there cheering on our graduates today, as you've done every step of the way. Families and friends, spouses and partners, parents and grandparents, siblings and loved ones, without whom our graduates would not be here today. Graduation is a time for gratitude. So for all the ways you've supported our graduates, emotionally and financially, for all the times you proofread, babysat, and stood by their side even when you weren't quite sure what one would do with a public health degree, and for all the encouragements you gave and all the sacrifices you made, on behalf of the graduating class of 2021, I just want to say thank you. You did good.
You did well. This guy's the dean of a college at the University of California, and he says, you did good?
Did he also throw in an anyways?
He might as well have. You did well is the way it should be put if you're an academician at a university at that level. But no, not at this school. You did good. You did good.
I really enjoy you on this new V8 juice. It's a new you. Keep it up.
I'm jacked up.
Yes.
So let's go with,
I love those kinds of, but language is flexible, John. Language can change.
They had Fauci on this thing. They have the guy who is they have this Vadim character, the guy who's the new Surgeon General.
Oh, that wuss?
Vivek. How this guy became a vice admiral in the Navy, I'd like to know.
To the graduates.
Is it just an honorary degree you get when you're the Surgeon General?
Well, I'm going to take it. Well, yes, probably. But I'm going to take a look at his background.
This guy is very, and I don't know if I can use this word correctly, but he's very fey.
Yes. He's like a wuss.
He comes on, and he has a little gem to drop on us, and this is him. He comes on to give a talk for 2 or 3 minutes, and here he is. Wait, Vivek Murthy.
Does he give us his pronouns before he starts, or
no? I was irked by the fact that one person gave her pronouns and nobody else did.
Very lame. It's not on board with the program. All right, here we go. Vivek.
To the graduates of the class of 2021, it's truly an honor to be with you. All of you graduating today have been on quite a journey together. and a lot of it has been unexpected. You may not have expected to find the close friends and mentors you found here. I'm guessing you didn't expect to consume so much boba tea or coffee.
So, because the health services used to be a part of the military, that's why he has a title, a rank of Vice Admiral, but it's not in the Navy. It's in the U.S. Public Health Service Commission Corps, which, is pretty much, you get the job, you get the outfit.
Boba tea?
Yeah. Well, he's part Indian, part British. So, of course, we want to take advice from him, like all of our people in Hollywood.
All right. I thought that was lame. So now you start to hear now what you find out from these schools, especially at Cal, is this kind of activism. They're not, where's the public health got to do with? So far, what have you heard that has anything to do with public health? It's all about activism, moving things around. Let's listen to a couple different people. Here's a guy, I believe this guy's either one of the professors. This is Balmus, Environmental Health Sciences. There's a, I believe is one of the professors who teaches environmental health sciences. Just listen to this short little clip of what he has to say.
I especially want to commend your commitment to environmental and social justice and advocacy for diversity, equity, and inclusion in our program. You have made our EHS program better, and I know you will take this commitment and advocacy with you to make the world better as well.
You done good.
Advocacy.
Yes.
Did you listen to what he said carefully?
Yes. Let's play it again so everyone can hear.
I especially want to commend your commitment to environmental and social justice and advocacy for diversity, equity, and inclusion in our program. You have made our EHS program better, and I know you will take this commitment and advocacy with you to make the world better as well.
That's almost like the CEO of Juiceland saying, hey, thanks, everybody. Thanks for shutting us down until you got your bathrooms.
Well, this guy wasn't shut down by any means. They're being more encouraged. But this idea that these people are graduating with a master's degree in public health to go out and do advocacy and social justice. He used the word social justice.
Yeah. And equity.
One of the women
and
from
equity.
Cal at the meetup mentioned that they're always adding this new word, which may be showing up in our conversation. In other words, you want equity, social justice, blah, 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 and belonging.
Ooh.
And it seems to have a lot of people bent out of shape.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Belonging.
It's all communist talk. So
it is. So
it is.
Yeah.
And so this guy's putting. Here's another one. This is from the health public management program or something. This is HPM Impact. Listen to this.
Okay.
To our HPM graduates, we are so excited to see how you will use what you gained in the program as you're making change maker level impact.
Change maker rebel impact?
Change maker level impact. So you're coming out of this school. You're coming out of this school as an activist. Don't hire people from the University of California School of Public Health. They're going to come in there to change things.
But what do public health officials do? They just like the Admiral, just sit there and tell you?
Yeah, they don't. Well, until the COVID thing, they didn't do jack shit. They just sat around and they inspected restaurants. Oh, you got a rat problem here, Bill. Oh, we got some rat droppings. You got here's a 72-hour notice to clean up your mess.
So now their job is, hey, mask on. Is that their job? Is that what they graduate?
Well, they want to know. There's more than mask on. It's mask on. You get you some freedoms if you listen to me. It's just a whole thing.
Yeah, these people need to be hunted down.
Well,
are they on the loose
here's
yet?
Lee Riley. They gave an award out to this guy and that guy. Now listen to this character, Lee Riley. I think he's either teaches there or he's got some. I lost track of what these people do. But listen to this one, Lee Riley. And what he's talking about.
Thank you. Now it's my turn to congratulate the infectious disease students. So we all went through a very difficult year, as we all know, and now you guys are graduating And this word, congratulations, means a lot more than it did in the past. And so for the ID students, you got to learn and witness in real time what a pandemic does, and also learn that public health is the only thing standing between some sort of semblance of normal life and complete collapse of the world order. But I hope you also recognize that now we can't just go back to the normal life we had pre-pandemic. We can't go back to the normal life that unquestioningly accepted the kind of public health system that was totally unprepared to address the pandemic. And we can't go back to life as usual that engendered all the health disparities that were unmasked in full force by the pandemic. So please, don't go back to your pre-pandemic normal life. Create a different normal life. And again, congratulations and best of luck, and stay in touch.
Wow. This I want a list of all the names. We need to avoid these people. That's so arrogant. Like,
you think?
Like, really, without us, you'd be dead. You need us. And I would like to point out that neither the rear admiral under Trump, or the rear admiral, vice admiral under Biden, neither one have said, here's what you can do for a healthy immune system. It's a good idea to drink some V8. Even that I would accept. They've done nothing of the sort.
They're not. This is the point. They're not doctors. They're bureaucrats. They're hired to be in a bureaucratic agency at I didn't get, this is all the clips I have. I mean, I could have clipped another dozen things.
Yeah.
But they're bureaucrats. They have no care about doctoring or anybody's real health. It's about public health. In other words, let's make sure that there's no rats at the restaurant. And make sure the vaccines are, well, now that we've got this COVID thing going on, we can lord it over everybody. And that's what they've been doing. The health department has been dominating the conversation in all the counties. Oh, the health department says you can't stay at home. In one of the clips, which I don't have this clip, they were bragging about the guy who became alumni of the year was the guy who did the first shutdown, the first lockdown. And it's a great thing because now we got a little dictator. Oh, lock down, stay-at-home order. First stay-at-home order, alumni of the year from this School of Public Health.
Oh,
he's the guy he was in San Francisco at the time.
Now, this was on YouTube?
Yeah,
on
YouTube.
How were the likes and dislikes? Were there more dislikes? You gotta look at that stuff.
It was a lot of likes.
Man, my advice is get out. What are you waiting for? My God, get out of California. They're going to come for you.
The best.
They're going to come for you.
Nobody's coming for anybody.
They'll be there at the door. They'll get lured by that car that Jay has parked in the driveway. Oh, pretty art car, and they'll come up your driveway and they come up the steps.
Nope, they see the art car. I'm exempt.
That Eric finally sent me a picture. Thank you, John. That car is beautiful,
isn't it?
Huh? And she hand painted that.
Yeah, I'll put pictures in the next newsletter. Yeah, she hand painted. It took her about a month.
I would like to propose something with the car. I would like to make that car. It would only we could just need a small addition, just a little sticker. I'd like to make it the official vehicle of the No Agenda Morning Zoo.
Your systems are offline.
You're listening to the No Agenda Morning Zoo on Getmo Radio.
That would be ideal.
Butt slam.
You are correct, sir.
In the morning.
Now, we are so excited about our exit strategy to turn the show into the Morning Zoo that we are doing a pilot. Pilot that John is producing. We are still in the middle of casting. We have not yet shored up deals with Dame Jennifer as our lewd news lady, nor have we shored up a deal with Mo to be our community service director and sports guy. And we're still auditioning for our entertainment reporter. And we had a very specific spec. We want a gay sounding, and it should be a gay one because we can't. This is Hollywood rules. If you're going to sound gay, you got to be gay. And we have a script.
Yeah, we can't just have you sounding
No,
gay.
no.
That's no good.
We
That's
have-
like wearing blackface. Doesn't work.
It does not work, and we have a script which will be in the show notes. Also posting it to No Agenda Social. I will say, interest is high. I've many of our gay male producers have raised their hand and are very excited. Even two of our official No Agenda transsexuals have thrown their hat into the ring. Though I mean, we could get bonus points for having the morning zoo with a trans entertainment reporter. But I personally think we stick.
It's off the model. It's off the
model, and I think we stick with the overly gay entertainment reporter. But we should probably consider adding an intern who's on the spectrum.
That could be.
Yeah, just so it just comes in and you go, ugh.
Yeah, it never does any work.
It never does any work. Does everything wrong. We now
not a bad idea.
Without asking, we already received one audition tape. Would you like to hear?
But this is not on this. This is not a scripted one, and of course the scripted one is the one we're going to consider. But this is definitely worth listening to.
In the morning, this is Clay the Gay done again. Because if I've been done once, I'll be done again. I just have to say that I am so upset that Ariana Grande decided to get married without telling any of us. That just means I'm going to have a private ceremony of my own for her with all of my cats. And to keep this short and sweet, like my ex-boyfriend, I have to say, Dvorak, if your dinkle-dinger is anywhere near as big as your glasses were in the 80s, oh my God, count me in. I'm going to jump right on that. And I could just imagine that Adam Curry's fro below is as equally coiffed as the hair on top of his head. Thank you guys for your time in the morning.
Now, what did you think of this audition?
Well, it was, I think it had the right rhythm.
Well, a little slow between stories, or meaning a sound effect.
Well, we could use a little sound effect in between
and
stories.
A sound effect, yeah.
Yeah, a little boink.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
bell.
I think you're in charge of that, so that's your department.
Well, that'd be in the, yeah.
I thought the jokes were good. So
the jokes were good, and we expect the person to do that gets the job to have to win the audition who has a sense of humor and can beef up the script. The script that I submitted, which will be linked in the show notes, is fairly vanilla.
Unfortunately, this audition is null and void. This person cannot participate.
Yes, yes, because he's not gay.
Yes, thank you for your consideration. I've been John Fletcher.
Yeah, it's Fletcher.
Sorry, Fletcher. If he hadn't put that on there, I never would have known.
I didn't know he did such a good gay. He's a good actor.
He's got great gay.
He's got the shouting voice. He's got a nice deep voice too. He's got a terrific range of voices.
Yes. Maybe he could do the whole show. Just give him the script and
hell with it.
Let him produce the whole thing.
Be a relative Phil Hendry. If anyone knows who that
Phil
is.
Hendry does nothing for me. No idea.
Yeah, Phil Hendry is a DJ, he's a talk show host, and he shows up in different markets, and he only stays there for a very short. You should look him up. He only stays there we've actually played Phil Hendry clips on this show. He goes in there and he plays a whole show. He is the guy that's doing the interview, and then he's the guy being interviewed, and he uses two different mics, and he's a little switch with some noise in it. So he's like, and so then what do you think about that? Well, I didn't think it was such a great idea when he came out with it. And so he'll dream up these characters who are extremely offensive guests.
Nice.
And then he starts taking calls. And it's people that are just pissed off at this guest. And then the guest and the caller will go at it. And the whole thing is a charade. The whole thing's a fake, except for the call-ins. And so he'll go into a market for about 6 months to he'll stay in some markets for up to a year.
Then he has to get out.
Yeah, because he's done. Because everyone knows, that guy, that douche.
Yeah.
Phil Hendry. Look him up. Something of a genius. If you if you've never heard him before,
No, I don't
you'd
think so.
swear he was interviewing somebody, but it's just him.
Troll room asking if they identify as gay. Is that? I think we might. That's Fletcher actually. That may be a good point. But you have to identify as gay all the time. It's not just a one and done on the show.
Yes, no, you can't just. The part-time identifying is not going to cut it.
Hey man,
with
this
us.
is an entertainment product. It can't be fake. Okay.
Yeah, no fakery.
No
going on.
fakery on this show. It's got to be real. Hey, so is this a big deal? This AT&T Warner Media Discovery, is that a big deal? This merger?
We talked about it on the DH Unplugged show a little bit.
I haven't heard it. So, I mean, Jeff
well,
Zucker
it's yet another example of AT&T buying into media properties, and then they don't know how to run them. They don't know what they're doing, and they just go out of business. I mean, when they buy AOL, they bought a property from Ziff Davis once that was a loser. It was an online system in the early days of the internet, and it was like going to be competitive with eWorld and the Apple product.
My God, eWorld. Oh, I forgot about eWorld.
Well, Ziff had one of these things, and AT&T bought it for I thought it was a joke, but they bought it for like $500 million. It was worth nothing, and it just folded it. AT&T is incompetent with these properties. That means Discovery's done.
Well, I guess they haven't done much better with. They own CNN, and and so Jeff Zucker is he going to be the CEO of the whole shebang?
Oh, that'd be great.
I think
they'd be out of business in no time.
I think that's the idea. I think he's supposed to be the CEO. He had kind of gotten screwed the last time around when it was his shot, and now he's ready to go.
Yeah. Well, it'll linger, wasting money for 2 or 3 years, and then it'll just be shuttered.
Yeah. So much for Shark Week.
Yeah. Shark Week.
It's going to get destroyed.
I thought Shark Week was... the Shark Week. Oh, yeah.
Shark Week and Nazis. Isn't that what Discovery Channel is?
Shark Week and Nazis.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Okay. Speaking of the media, they're doing everything they can to keep Trump in the news. And with a little assist from the Attorney General, or is she the Attorney General for New York? What's her name? Well, anyway,
New York.
Yeah, so they have a headline, but let's really deconstruct what's being said here.
Tonight, new legal trouble for former President Trump.
New legal trouble.
New York Attorney General Letitia James announcing we are now actively investigating the Trump Organization in a criminal capacity, along with the Manhattan DA. The original investigation was sparked by Mr. Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen, who claimed Mr. Trump deliberately provided incorrect valuations of assets in official documents. Tonight, the former president slamming the investigation.
So, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. So now so we have a headline. Attorney General of New York going after Trump. Criminal. Was originally suggested by his attorney. That's where the story starts to fall apart the minute you bring that jamoke in. And then it's, he falsified the valuation of property on official documents. Oh, you mean when he went in for a loan or when he valued his taxes? You can value your real estate in many different ways, but this is now going to be made criminal? I don't know much about the real estate business, but I remember this accusation. We laughed about it the first time around, and now they're back. Here's ABC.
We begin with the breaking news. The investigation into former President Trump's company, the Trump Organization, has taken a serious new turn.
The investigation by the New York Attorney General's office is now looking into potential criminal charges. The Attorney General has been investigating possible violations over the way the company valued its holdings to get loans and tax benefits.
The AG's office says it's informed the Trump Organization that the case is no longer purely civil. It's now being investigated in a criminal capacity, along with a Manhattan district attorney who's conducting a similar investigation. There's been no comment from the Trump Organization, but Trump has previously criticized the investigations as politically motivated.
Bombshell.
The thing is, this is the kind of crap coverage we get from the media.
Mm-hmm.
The first question I'm asking to myself is he overvaluing the property to get more money, or is he undervaluing the property to get less taxes? It's one or the other. You're either overvaluing to get a bigger loan, but then your taxes are higher.
You're right.
Or you're undervaluing to get a smaller loan. It means you're not ripping off the banks like he always supposedly does, and to get lower taxes. And I don't know about you or anybody else. Michael Dell, by the way, in Texas has been fighting with the Texas state government forever about the valuation of his house in Austin.
That's right.
And we have property, and they come in all of a sudden with some weird assessment. And by the way, it's the county assessors that do the assessments.
I had to sue myself.
And you fight them.
The minute we purchased this house, they immediately came in with an assessment of $100,000 more than we paid for it. Yeah. And you fight it. And the only people who win this is the lawyers.
Well, it's besides the point. The long term, everyone wins. But you do this sort of thing if you're in that business. And what are they thinking? These idiots what are they trying to do? I think this is just a ginned up story. It's bull crap.
It's a story that was already a story. We already heard this accusation.
Yeah, it's true.
And you're right. It's contradictory. It's one or the other.
But why don't they find out which it is? They're the news people. I would like to know if he's overvaluing or undervaluing. I'd like to just have a number. They're just throwing out generalities. I mean, this is not reporting.
Did you mistake it for news? I'm sorry. Did you think that was a news report?
I did. I'm an idiot.
Big mistake. Well, let's stay with the Trump hate for a moment. The Maricopa County recount continues, and the Arizona election administrator, well, Rachel Maddow had this piece. No matter what's happening there, it's being discredited. And they may be onto the biggest scandal in the world, but I doubt we'll ever know with this kind of reporting.
I have been accused of inserting fake ballots delivered from a South Korean plane. More recently, I have been accused of deleting entire databases, even though I participated in the transference of all databases to the Senate, have seen them with my own eyes, and even though I still have access to the current fully functional voting database. It is enough. Supervisor Hickman has even been accused of feeding ballots to hundreds of thousands of chickens at his farm and then purposefully incinerating them.
Incinerating the chickens to cover up the evidence that the chickens ate the ballots. Because you wouldn't just incinerate the ballots, you'd want them to pass through a chicken first, and then you gotta get rid of the chicken. See? Come on. Don't think we don't know how to play this game. Without a chicken in the middle of the incineration process, can all be reverse engineered. Then Joe Biden would be president.
Okay, so it's not being taken seriously, obviously.
I never heard about the chicken before. She's good at ridiculing stuff. That's all she does.
I hadn't heard the chicken one myself. But what's a little more serious, and I would task any of our producers, preferably. Now, there's not a lot of people that watch it. In fact, it had an asterisk the other day, or an astic, as Rev Al would say. I would like someone to create a little supercut of Nicole Wallace on Deadline White House, I think it is, in the afternoon on MSNBC. Just at the amount of time she cavalierly says, well, the insurrection, it was the most horrible event. They're going to do it again. The big lie. I mean, it's just continuously as if there was this horrible thing that took place on January 6th when there is no evidence. In fact, there's counter evidence that this was a violent coup, a violent takeover.
Where's the guns?
5 people were murdered. None of it is true, but they keep repeating that over and over again, which is why, of course, it's fun when you accuse someone else of the big lie, because you are, in fact, propagating the lie. I'd love to have a little supercut of how many times they say this shit, and to make it real. And this will go down as real, because there's no stopping the train. The media reports history. We need a 9/11 style commission, because clearly this is exactly the same we need to have the same type of...
Same as 9/11.
Same terror, same fear, same shitty report, because the 9/11 report excluded 28 pages, which implicated the true nature of the attacks, or at least the attackers, which was Saudi Arabia. That was obfuscated, 28 pages. Go look it up. You can find them. Why it was denied even at first that there were any extra pages, and then it finally came out under the Trump administration, and also went nowhere. But the whole 9/11 Commission is discredited. The whole report is discredited, if not only by the fact that they omitted that and did not focus at all on Saudi Arabia, where the attackers came from. So, doesn't matter. We want one of those for January 6th.
Lester, the House just voted to create a 9/11-style commission to study the events of January 6th here at the Capitol. 35 Republicans joined all Democrats in voting for this, a significant break with Republican leadership, including Kevin McCarthy and former President Trump, who opposed the commission. But it now faces an uncertain future in the Senate, where Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said today he opposes the commission as well. That vote could come up as early as next week.
I don't know if that's going to get through the Senate.
Seems unlikely. The smart money even.
What is the point? Is it only to just solidify that this was a horrible event? That has to be the point, right?
It's to prove that Trump's a bad person that should not be running the Republican Party. This is like a McCain, a Cheney. Those people. I think a lot of Republicans want this commission so they can regain control of the party and get rid of people like Laura Boebert and Marjorie Ann, whatever her name is. They hate those two
Marjorie
women.
Ann. It's Marjorie Taylor Greene, but I think Marjorie Ann is her new name.
Marjorie whatever. Yeah.
I like her. I saw her on Tucker, and I like.
No, I like her too. I like both.
No,
I
misjudged her. I thought she was an idiot the first time you played a clip when she was all jacked up. But then I saw her here. I was like, oh, I kind of like her. She's she's a CrossFit. She a CrossFit trainer. She can lift you. She can lift, 300 pounds. She can lift. She can bench 300 pounds.
Oh well, she could lift half the people in the house.
Yeah, she could. Yes. She
definitely Pelosi.
No, she could
throw Pelosi.
She could lift all of the graduating class of the University of California, Berkeley Public Health School. That's what she can do.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda in the morning.
Curiously, we have a few people to thank for show 1348 as we head toward 1350. Almost knocked something over. Starting with Aaron Farrell in Wadsworth, Illinois, $111.11. Kevin Irwin in Midland, Texas, $100. Jay Codicini in Austin, Texas. Sir Herb, $100. Sir Herb Lamb, $80.08 from Sugar Hill, Georgia. He needs some house buying karma. We'll give him that at the end.
You bet.
John and Kim Watson in Aurora, Colorado, $77. Anonymous from FEMA Region 3, $69.69. Got some sort of a note or something. Oh, this is the guy this is a make good note that he sent in as a copy of the note that he sent in.
Oh, hold on. I have it here.
We may have to read it because it's for $333 in the last show.
Yes. Anon from FEMA Region 3. Not sure of your emails, but I know money will get your attention. That's who we're talking about, right? I wanted to weigh in on Viagra being advertised to millennials/Zoomers. Yes, this was a good note. I'm a younger millennial, 30, from 1990, who is also a gamer. Oh, this is sad. I don't think most of the Viagra use in my cohort is as a party drug. It's much more pernicious and sad. I believe excessive masturbation from early pubescence has caused early onset erectile dysfunction. You know, that's what they always told me, by the way. So it's true. Are you going blind as well? When you were growing up in the Stone Age, what did you guys have? Hey, easy. a Playboy mag under the covers, or in John's case, pinup girls. Yes, Varga girls on World War II airplanes.
Yeah. Petty girls, too.
Imagine having a phone, or a PSP for me, that is in your room when you find how your dick works. You're doing homework, you get distracted by porn, get ready for bed, and damn that porn again. Wake up in the morning, ready to go, and wham, bam, porn. TLDR, porn addiction is real and causes ED, depression, self-loathing. From my experience, it's much harder to kick than cigarettes. Wow. We need some experts to weigh in on this. I did not know that excessive masturbation causes erectile dysfunction.
I heard that it causes hair on the palms. Have you heard that one?
It's clearly not. It's clearly pretty serious. And Pfizer is playing right into it. These young boys may have trouble, and this is not healthy. It's not healthy. None of this is healthy.
So now what you're saying is Pfizer's behind the porn. Yeah.
Oh,
these guys are marketing geniuses.
These guys are great. Pfizer porn. Mm-hmm.
Pfizer porn.
Hey, if you and I were running the show.
Yeah, it'd be out of control. Okay, onward with Greg Kierdak in Padova, Italy. Wow, Padua. Padua. 6363.
Molto grazie.
Molto grazie. Molto grazie. Sir Jake, the IT Bogan from Morayfield, Queensland, 6060. Baronet Loudpipes in Charlotte, North Carolina, 6006, small tits. Lynn Wiggert in Maplewood, Minnesota, 60. Jeffrey Sewell in Wilmington, Delaware, 5678. It's where all those UAW people used to be. Todd Rathkamp in Ripon, Wisconsin.
Ripon.
Baron Bob of High Point in High Point, North Carolina, 5532. We have a lot of North Carolinians.
We do.
Sir John, Knight of Saint Patrick, patron saint of engineers. In Heber Springs, Arkansas. What's up, Heber Springs? I think I've driven through Heber Springs. Onward, Sir Kilgore Trout in Woodstock, Ontario, 5510. Daniel Mariano in Pflugerville, Texas.
It's right near Waco.
It's right. You actually living in Pflugerville.
I think Pflugerville is the new. Yes, straight from Pflugerville.
Sir Dean Roker in East Grinstead, West Sussex, UK, 5510. And then Jason Olrum.
This was actually the
Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, 5333. Yeah, what does he get? You got something there?
Well, this was a make good. He sent us the 333 donation.
Okay.
On the previous show.
Yes.
And he needed de-douching. Let's make sure he gets that.
You've been de-douched.
So he's donating again because we didn't have his note. So it's also his 49th birthday. It was his 49th birthday on the 17th.
We put him on this list, I think.
We put him on this list. And the main thing was he wanted to let us know that he has thegreatretease.com. And although we may have mentioned that, we certainly did mention if you go to The Great Retease, so it's thegreat, RETEES.com or RETEES.com. Retease works as well. If you use the promo code ITM, No Agenda producers get 13.33% off any shirt. And he says, keep up the good work, future Sir Rerum of Berg of Dill. So we look forward to that and success with your venture, Jason. Thank you.
Huh. Yeah. And some people had trouble getting their notes in. Trent Larrabee in Manchester, New Hampshire. By the way, somebody sent a note in, and they thought they followed all the rules. They're complaining. And I went back and looked. They had donation misspelled in the subject line. It was DOAN.
You can also, as a backup, send a copy to notes@noagendashow.net.
Trent Larrabee's next on the list from Manchester, New Hampshire, 5033. And the following people are $50 donors, name and location, where applicable. Kevin O'Brien in Chicago, Illinois. Scott Lavender, Sir Scott in Montgomery, Texas. Jessica Young in Yuba City, California. Sir Dwight Knight in Burlington, Ontario. Birthday for him or someone, for his niece, Eleanor. Marie Labruyere in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. Anonymous in Aurora, Ontario, Canada. Andrew Caver, is it Caver or Caver? In St. Louis, Missouri. Andrew Gusick, Sir Andrew in Greensboro, North Carolina, another North Carolinian. Robert Case in Mill Spring, North Carolina, another North Carolinian. Jeffrey Chadwick in Ogden, Utah. Paul Dubois in Kerhonkson, New York.
Okay, correct. Kerhonkson, you're right.
Honk! Adrian Muller in Atascadero, California, and Alexander Wells wraps it up from Elmhurst, Illinois. I want to thank all these folks for making it possible to even do this show by their contributions to show 1348.
Yes, and I also want, we have a anonymous night note who will be knighted momentarily, came in with $20 today, but I do want to read the note. Finally reached knighthood after listening since the summer of 2016, something that brings me as much joy as it does pride. The No Agenda show has not only educated and entertained me all these years, but it has also shown me the intrinsic value of supporting a product that I cherish. To all those who listen but don't donate, I'd recommend trying it in whatever amount you can afford. It's no exaggeration to say that you will feel better for it. And he sends his accounting. And he wants the title Anonymous Esquire of the Upper Midwest, of course. Then a quick thanks to, hold on a second. I got the card here. This is because I did go to the P.O. box, the Viscount of this here mountain, M. Andrew Jones, who sent me a beautiful, huge button. Due to an underlying health condition, I cannot wear a mask or face covering. Thank you for your understanding. Here in Texas, we call that a target. He sent me a $1 bill with the serial number 696969, and he sent me a Magic the Gathering card of the pangolin.
Yes, I have also received the same thing, except I didn't get the button that I know of. But I did get the, my dollar bill had 8008 or something along those lines.
Cool.
And I got the Magic card too, which...
also a pangolin?
Yeah, Jay looked it up as to see if it's a valuable card, but no.
And a Xanthe Alexis, the Offering CD. Thank you very much. It's appreciated. And I proof I do go to there once in a while. And thank all of these producers for supporting the best podcasting universe. We do not read anything under $50, so people can be sure that there's anonymity involved. But that's where people also show up with 3333s, 2020s, 1111, 1212s. There's a lot of different things you can support the show with on an ongoing contribution basis. If you'd like to learn more, go to
Dvorak.org/NA.
And the karma as requested with a little twist of goat.
You've got karma.
We have a rather long list, surprisingly. Here's the birthdays as we go down the list. Sir Dwight the Knight says happy birthday to his niece Eleanor, who celebrated on the 17th. Jason Orem turned 49 on the 17th as well. Forrest Martin celebrated yesterday. Amanda Boland says happy birthday to Matthew Schock. He'll be 35 today. Daniel Haggerty, happy birthday to his son Drew, who turns 1 on the 22nd. Sir Jake's dad, Jeff Kenyon, turned 60 on the 22nd. On the 23rd, Deborah Reese congratulates her smoking hot boyfriend Christopher Michael, who turns 48. Alexander Myers, happy birthday to his grandmother Jackie Sisson. She'll be celebrating November 9th. We're well on time for that. And Kevin Irwin, happy birthday to his douchebag good buddy Dan, who is turning 40. Happy birthday from everybody here at the best podcast in the universe. It's your birthday, yeah. So we have 3 anonymouses. This is anonymized, 3 anonymized to tonight, and 1 known entity. So we might as well get that anonymous blade.
Go.
Whoa, yeah, that's the one we want. All right, anonymous, up on the podium. And Tim Powers, all of you, join me here. Thank you so much for supporting the No Agenda Show in the amount of $1,000 or more. Even if you did it with coffee money, we really do appreciate it. And I'm proud to pronounce thee as Anonymous Esquire of the Upper Midwest, Sir Spro, and Sir Bean Brewer of the South. And finally, Sir R.D. McGillicuddy. Gentlemen, for you, we've got hookers, we've got blow, we've got Rent Boys and Chardonnay, we've got lattes and lox bagels, we got cookies and vodka, warm beer and cold women, diet soda and video games. We got vodka and vanilla bong hits and bourbon, sparkling cider and escorts, ginger ale and gerbils, breast milk and pablum. Yeah, I know what you want. Mutton and meat. It's here. Of course, the mutton and meat is always ready to go. And if you would take yourself over to noagendanation.com/rings, Eric the Shill will be waiting for you, and he will gladly take your measurements so you can get your No Agenda Night ring out with your sealing wax and your official certificate. And thank you again for being a part of the experiment and for your invaluable production work on the No Agenda Show.
No Agenda Meetups.
No Agenda Meetups. NoAgendaMeetups.com is where you can figure out where everybody is, where the cool kids are hanging out, and join them because you are by definition also a cool kid when you attend a No Agenda Meetup. Let's see how some of the Coolios did at the Philly 76 Toast in the Attic Meetup.
Hi, Adam. Hi, John. This is Sean here, Philly Local 76 at Attic Brewing. We are having a good time. It's just 4 plus me.
Hey, fellas. Keep arguing. Keep the millennials uncomfortable.
Hello, Umami Mama here. Another lovely day with some lovely people.
Oh, hi. This is Unhappy New York in Philadelphia for the day. Yay, in the morning.
Tom Starkweather here, rounding out my East Coast tour for this week of meetups.
This is like a party. So much like a party. Yeah.
A rowdy group. Tom Starkweather, man, getting around New York, Jersey, Philly. He's everywhere. Now we go to Alexandria.
Yeah, John and Adam. Hey, this is Sir William of West Pennsylvania at the Alexandria meetup. Train's good, plane's bad.
Hey, it's DC Girl. Second meetup in a week in the morning.
In the morning, it's the most eligible bachelor in podcasting, Abel Kirby.
In the morning, it's Bob from Annapolis, and just a shout out to all the subs in the water out there.
Swamp Creature here with my smoking hot wife and our human resource in the morning.
It's non-douchebag Leland from DC. No jingles, no karma.
Jason from Fairfax, ITM.
Hey, it's a dude named Adrian, first No Agenda Meetup.
Hi, this is Roundy. My pronouns are and
Hi, this is Bongo Boy. I couldn't think of anything funny to say, so I'm not going to say anything funny. In the morning.
Hi, this is Geneva. I'm with my husband, Lee, with our human resource, Caroline.
Good morning.
All right. That was a big meetup, Alexandria. Nice. We got a couple on the list. In fact, today, several. You can go to the Denver Area City Park Sunshine Junkies meetup at 6:30 at the City Park. That's the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. Or Charlotte's Third Thursday monthly meetup, 7 o'clock at Ed's Tavern. On Saturday, the Stranger Than Fiction Decompression Sessions in Chicago at 1 o'clock at Reggie's Rooftop. Also on Saturday, Flight of the No Agenda 106 in Long Beach at 3:33 p.m. at Steelcraft. Kansas City, Missouri, meetup, St. Joe Redux, Sir Belo returns, 3:33 p.m. at Felix Pub. And Springfield, Missouri meetup at Lindbergh's at 8 p.m. at Lindbergh's Tavern. And, of course, the Poplar Bluff, Missouri meetup, the last drink before the human resource, 2 o'clock at The Markt. Then we have something special going on in the Netherlands. The group there that is organizing the Gitmo Nation Lowlands meetup has procured a hotel, a No Agenda friendly hotel, who will deem this a business event, and you'll be able to run around naked anywhere, anything you want to do. Apparently, will be all cool. They're so excited about this, and you do need to RSVP in order to attend. You have to do that before the 26th of May. They're so excited, they created a promo.
Oh yeah, Gitmo Nation Lowlands. Yeah. This is the time to shake those chains and get out of government control. Damn. Get yourself to the Frisian countryside. For the first ever No Agenda business meetup. Frisian Lowlands. We'll take you out on a patriotic boat ride. Hell, we'll even throw in the barbecue. First weekend of July, sanctioned by the government.
Wow.
We'll even throw in the barbecue. So Dutch. For the rest of May, the 23rd, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Nashville, Tennessee on the 27th, Santa Ynez on the 28th, Knoxville, Tennessee on the 28th, Rhode Island 29th, Houston 29th, Amarillo, Texas 29th, and Brisbane, Australia on the 30th of May. These are the No Agenda meetups. It's a place where you can meet people from all around Gitmo Nation. They will not look like you. They will not be from the same background, but hey, you're going to have a fabulous time. No triggering, just some laughs, just some drinks. NoAgendaMeetups.com. It is just like a party.
Sometimes you wanna go hang out with all the nights and days. You wanna be where you won't be triggered or held to blame. You wanna be where everybody feels the same. It's like a party.
Yo.
A lot of meetups coming up.
Yeah. And they're good, man. Meetups are fun. Hey, ISO.
I have some ISOs. I went to the well.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
That would be Sophia with an F.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
But I don't think these are all from her. Let's try a few of them. Well, what this one is for sure. Shut up.
Oh, yes. I see it. Here we go.
Shut up!
Oh, man, you could have at least clipped it.
I did.
No, you did not do a good job.
Well, it sounded good to me, and I don't know how that little blip got in there.
Well, it's faulty work, but okay, I can fix it.
I think it's a function of Audacity, personally. That's it.
Okay.
That is it for this week.
It's too long. It's too many syllables.
Okay. What mean?
Okay.
What does that mean?
Okay, so far, shut up is the best.
Okay, how about thanks?
Well, hold on. Thanks.
Thanks, John.
Who was that?
I can't remember. It was from the health school. They brought this guy on, John, and he came up, blah, blah, blah. And so they said, thanks, John. I thought that would be a cute ending to the show because it would be just about me.
Okay, so I have...
You're a really dull class.
No, that's no good.
That was too long.
It's too long. I agree.
It doesn't exist.
Here's the only contender I have.
I call this penis politics.
Thought that might
perfect. I give it. Yeah, you win.
Penis politics. It is, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It would be actually try penis politics with shut up.
Oh, that's going to be a little long. I can give it a shot, but I think it's going to be too long. Hold on. Shut up. Here we go. All right.
I call this penis politics.
Shut up.
I can't get that blippy out, man. Recut it. It'll be great for the next episode. Recut it.
I'll try it next time.
And use a real editing package. Audacity, you cheap bastard. Just because it's free.
Call me a cheap bastard. It's a good product.
It's okay, but not when it's giving you this kind of result.
Well, I should have blown up the waveform and spotted that glitch.
Hey, we're struggling to figure out what's going on in Israel because we don't get anything from Israel. We don't understand. We get a lot of mixed messages. Everyone has an agenda. Everyone has a different view. I figure if you want to know what's going on in Israel, you might as well go to the source. Ben Shapiro. And what's great about Ben Shapiro, he can explain the entire Israeli problem in 15 seconds.
This whole thing was started by Mahmoud Abbas's Fatah party. Mahmoud Abbas canceled elections at the end of April. And then because he canceled elections because he thought Hamas was going to win, he decided he was going to launch a round of violence. And Hamas, not wanting to be one-upped by Fatah, decided to get involved by firing hundreds of rockets at Israel.
Okay, good. I'm glad we cleared that up. Now at least we know what's going on.
Okay, that's as good as an explanation as I've heard.
As good as anything else I've heard. Thanks, Ben.
I have two clips to finish off with.
All right.
The first one, I don't know if I should do the funnier one. They're both actually kind of odd. But let's start with this one. This is, somebody sent this to me. So one of our producers says, look at this. This is the Norman Lear group at work.
We love
throwing
this.
in bullcrap dialogue that's got nothing to do with the story. It's got nothing to do with moving the story along, which is a violation of storytelling 101. But that's okay. So we have, and this is a little slip in here on global warming from the show New Amsterdam.
God, it gets hotter every year. I can't believe it's not even June. What is the world going to be like when you're a grown-up? Because it is a slow-moving train wreck right now, and nobody is doing anything.
Could you speak up? I can't hear you over the turbines belching Freon into the air.
Well, I make up for it, all right? I turn on the low-flow nozzle in the shower. I compost. I turn off the faucet whenever I'm brushing my teeth, okay? Every time. I have like 60 of those reusable cloth shopping bags.
Yep. So you won't mind if I turn this off?
No, just a second longer, because it's, making her comfortable.
Yeah, which makes you comfortable. Everyone talks a good game about sacrifice right up into the second it threatens their comfort, including you, Max.
Wow, no wonder people don't want to watch this garbage.
This is probably one of the reasons.
Oh, my.
The air conditioner belching Freon into the atmosphere.
Wait, that's old, man. That was when we had the hole in the ozone.
That was 20. They haven't had Freon in an air conditioner for at least 20 years.
Exactly.
Probably 30.
Total bogus.
So it doesn't, and the air conditioner doesn't belch Freon. It belches cold air. Freon's not pouring out of it. What kind of nonsense? The guys who are doing these assignments, they're supposed to be helping the writers, slip stuff in, but you can't do it if it's just bull crap, just lies. They're doing a lousy job.
All right. I have my last clip.
Okay, well, I got one more if you want to. If your last clip is funny.
Oh, no, it's not funny. You got a funny last clip?
I don't think it's funny, but it's just, it brings in a new buzzword. They're trying to push it. They're trying to make this happen. It's like belonging. Maybe it's just like one of these things they want to catch on. Because racism's not doing the trick. It's losing its oomph. So they've come up with colorism.
Oh, that's been around.
Yeah, but they're pushing it now on PBS.
Well,
they had a whole special on it.
But colorism is racist black people against lesser black people, browner people, different shades, and it includes the brown people who are also racist against their own people. But you can't call that racist. You got to call it colorism.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but I do have a short clip about it because they're all in a tizzy about it.
Whiteness is the global beauty standard. It's reinforced in marketing by the multi-billion-dollar business of skin lightening products, hundreds of obscure brands, and some very well-known ones as well. Fair and Lovely is one of the most recognizable brands across South Asia and parts of Africa. It's made by Unilever, better known in America for Dove, Caress, and dozens of other household products. Sociologist Margaret Hunter has studied colorism globally.
In some countries, the names are very overt. White in Beautiful, White Dream.
Introducing new Olay Whitening Body Wash.
In other countries, including the United States, we use a little bit more coded language, but they are selling the same set of values.
Skin creams have long been marketed to black and brown Americans, but when Adawe arrived here at 19, she discovered that as an immigrant, she was part of a specific targeted audience.
It's not only limited to the Somalis, but also the Asian communities, the Hmong community, and the Latinx communities.
Armed with a master's degree in public health, she started a group called BeautyWell, creating an awareness campaign with the Minnesota Department of Health that warned about skin lightening creams that were tested and found to contain mercury.
Oh God.
Now, I have to make some comment. First of all, this is one of those weird mixed messages. It's almost like the Woody Allen joke where somebody bitches and moans about the food at the restaurant being so crummy, it's horrible, it's inedible, and the other woman says, yeah, and the portions are so small. That is kind of what this piece was about, because they're bitching and moaning about the whole thing being an insult to humanity. And then they go into this, and it's toxic. It's got mercury in it. And so they switch gears and go on and on about the quality of the products. I mean, make your mind up.
Well, it's very misguided, and shame on PBS. I'll have to watch this. If anyone wants a complete deconstruction of colorism, I suggest listening to Mo Facts with Adam Curry, episode number 9. The whole episode was about colorism, and it's been around for a long time. Did you know, this will just be my little Ask John, that there was something called the brown paper bag test at
that was discussed.
Howard University.
That was discussed in great detail in some early sitcoms that were done by the God. There was this one show, and I can't remember the name. It was produced by a black guy who was a comic, and he also played a character in the show who was the writer. And they talked about the brown paper bag test.
Yeah, you could not be darker than a brown paper bag, and you were not allowed into the black college. And there's a lot of colorism amongst brown and black people. It's a very interesting topic. Turns out everybody's just racist, or maybe everyone's just a human being.
They're just people.
All right, I'm not going to play my last clip because I like ending on this. Let's end on a social note, John. Equity for all, baby.
Yeah, social justice is our name.
Equity for all, baby. Adam E. Curry, where the E stands for
belonging.
Equity. Yes,
belonging.
I seek belonging. We've got a cool K-Tel ad coming up, which will remind you of some great goodies, our end of show mixes. Tom Starkweather checks in, and sound guy Steve, all end of show. I got a lot of them, and we always appreciate what our end of show mixers do. And well, until we hit Pflugerville, coming to you from the capital of the Drone Star State, Opportunity Zone 33, in fact, here in Austin, Texas. FEMA region number 6 on the governmental maps if you're looking for them. In the morning, everybody, I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I remain, I'm John C. Dvorak.
We return on Sunday with another edition of the No Agenda Show. We've got Bowl After Bowl coming up next on NoAgendaStream.com. Boost those guys on a Podcasting 2.0 app. Until Sunday, adios, mofos! And such.
K-Tel presents No Agenda Hits, a great new album. 20 original hits and parodies. Ain't no rest for the triggered.
Ain't no rest for the trigger.
Bomb them.
And bomb them again, eh? And bomb them again, eh? Bomb them.
Respect.
Resist. We must. We must.
Classify.
At the end of the day, but my God.
We came, we saw, he died.
We saw? He died.
And all the Obama hits like Okie Doke, Da Da Da, Sucking in Soot, and No No No.
If we fall for Okie Doke.
Magical shape-shifting Jews.
Step right this way. Roll up for the shape-shifting Jews.
Let's get social. A drone again.
Some got in my way. A drone again. Naturally.
Bing, bing, bong, bong.
Bong, bing, bing, bong, bong. Bing, bing, bong, bong. Bing, 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 bing.
And the quadruple platinum I Got Ants.
I got ants. I got ants.
And many more. No Agenda Hits. Be sure to get the hits from K-Tel.
Wear a mask. What would you do when you wear a mask?
mask. Isn't that theater?
No, that's not. Here we go again with the theater. Let's get down to the facts.
The hard nucleus around the Navy forms in times of war.
What do you do when you wear a mask? Wear a mask. When you wear a mask, wear a mask. Wear a mask. Wear a mask.
In people seeing me indoors without a mask. I mean, before the CDC made the recommendation change, I didn't want to look like I was giving mixed signals.
If the unvaccinated get vaccinated, they will protect themselves and other unvaccinated people around them. There's a seat on Air Force One if you have to get home. It may be tough.
Down there, 33% of the state is fully vaccinated. Just 33%.
I am now much more comfortable in people seeing me indoors without a mask. I mean,
I would think you'd have an opportunity when I say that about the Navy to clap, but being here together. Tonight, I come to talk about 2 million women. We can't stop now. Think about it. Tonight, 2 million women. 2 million. 2 million women. It's not right. When I think climate change, I think 2 million women. Let's make that permanent. 1,300,000 women. Think about it. Think about it. 2 million women lined up for miles. That's all I'm asking. America's on fire. We have to dominate. You all know it. I just want to be clear. Let's get to work. I'd like to meet 2 million women. That's all I'm asking. We should act. Let's argue over it. Let's debate it. Let's act. I can say there's still more work to do. 800,000, 100%, 400,000. Now, I just want to be clear. Think about it. Folks, in America, we do our part. We all know 2 million women. Think about it. I don't know about you, but I didn't ever think I'd see that in America. 40,716. 160 million. Now, let's argue over it. Let's debate it. Let's act. 2 million women.
The best podcast in the universe.
Adios, mofo.
Dvorak.org/NA. I call this penis politics.